Alright. Alright, so let me know how my mic sounds, guys. I really want to know Also, guys, how are y'all days are going? I want to see how y'all days are going. This is going pretty well. Alright, so since this stream is like almost like 2 hours long, what we're going to do, since we can actually rewind this up, I'm gonna go ahead and rewind this up for y'all, so we can get straight into it. So let's go ahead and rewind it up because this stream is already pre-recorded, so I kind of caught it last second. So we're just gonna keep rewinding it up until we get to the part that we need to get to. We don't need to watch all this because, like I said, it was pre-recorded. And, it already happened. Everybody already saw what's gonna happen and everything. I'm the only one that doesn't know, so I'm kind of curious of what I sound like because honestly, I haven't used this mic since I had got it like last year. I didn't even have a chance to use it. But like I said, guys, I'm gonna fix up my setup so I'll be able to use it a lot more. But hopefully, this season for Honor, everything will be promising like people say it will be. Alright, here we go.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome back to the Warriors Den for the year 7. The year 7, Nolan.
It's the year 7. I know, it's amazing.
Crazy. I'm so excited. So we're live again here, Ubisoft Montreal.
Yep.
New couch, new year.
New couches. We're live. If you've noticed that, we have some new couches here, which is great. But
they fit the team, I feel like.
They do. They're very dark and gritty, which we're going to get into a bit more. But no Brian today, though. Sorry about that.
He left with the couch, I heard.
He did. He stole our couch. Sorry. Brian, we're watching out for you, all right? We'll find him one day.
So let's dive into the year 7 and the first season of the year as well, Heresy, starting next week, March 16. Remember this date. We're going to repeat that date a lot during the show.
You might hear it a few times.
March 16.
So you know, yeah.
So just put it in the calendar right now. It's just going to be done.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to remember it after that.
1 week, big countdown. Another reminder for everybody out there. If you've been living under a rock, you don't know what you're doing with the Twitch and the UB Connect account. You got to link your Twitch account to your UB Connect account because just by watching us today throughout the stream, every 30 minutes you're going to unlock a scavenger crate, which is super useful.
Yes.
And we'll get into a little bit of that later on. But you'll also be entered into a chance to win a bigger grand prize of either 100k steel, which is a lot of steel. You can buy a lot of stuff with that, or the new hero skin, which we're going to show off a little bit later too. Trust me, this is a good one.
It's a heavy-duty show, I think.
Yeah.
We have a lot of content to show you guys.
But
before starting, I think we should watch the trailer.
We gotta watch it.
If you haven't watched it, let's just watch it all together and enjoy it. So, there you go, Max. Roll this.
All right, stick around.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, guys, I think
fire burns, but the smoke never clears.
March 16.
The blade cleaves, but never sheathes. Yet, the seeds of war ever quicken. Atrocity befouls Heathmore.
I already watched the trailer.
The beliefs shall be tested, the old order shaken, virtue shackled, and honor's battle cry silenced. So, it falls to you. Balance the scales. Take up your weapon and fight the sword of injustice.
I made sure I got a picture of everything so I could know what's happening. Okay, yeah, like I thought. It starts on March 16th, so that's when the Heroes game comes out also. Alright, so since everything is pre-recorded, I'm gonna go ahead and rewind this up to the part so we can go ahead and get into it.
Year 7, mind-blowing. Welcome, guys. I have some new people with me, but we have Andre.
Thanks for
He's
having
going to
me.
talk about the narrative, so welcome. And we have new faces with us. Jesse
Hi, everyone.
MPO. Welcome on the Warriors Den.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Jesse, I think you came on the Warriors Den a few years back, right?
4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Times fly.
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
So you guys made the trailer. You part of Helix. Can you tell the people if they don't know what Helix is?
Yes, Helix is a division of Ubisoft, so we're part of Ubisoft, and we specialize in creating most of the trailers, cinematic that you see in our games, and we've been involved since day one on many of the trailers of For Honor.
Let's watch a trailer that you guys made for Year 7, like some of them. Let's watch some highlight and a montage. So let's roll this, Max.
By doing the unthinkable, he ventured out where no one had ever dared.
Yet in its wake, darkness spreads.
But what comes back, it isn't them. Only fools don't fear the dark.
Heathmore suffers, and I am the only one who can stop it.
Victory is in our grasp.
Too long have we stood aside. Now, at last, we enter the fray.
That's amazing. It brings so much memory just to look at them.
Totally.
I love that. So let's dive into the narrative team of the Year 7. Andre, please enlighten us. Tell us what happened between Year 6 and where are we right now?
Absolutely. So year 7 is the year of injustice. What we're going to be doing this year that's super cool is tying each season to a specific injustice.
Oh, okay.
Just like how in year 6 we tied each season to a specific relic.
Oh, and talking about the relics, do you guys remember the 4 relics?
Pop quiz right now.
Right now?
Chat.
We're going to wait.
Yeah, we're just going to wait until everybody writes
Yeah.
all the
Can
relics
we write
down.
in the chat?
Yeah,
Yes, you can
go
too.
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you write all the right answer, we're going to win a prize?
Yes.
I think we have a prize.
Huge prize. You win absolutely nothing. Yeah.
It's thematic of the
Or
season.
they win our undying respect.
There you go.
So absolutely nothing.
So let's go back to the narrative team of the season.
Yes. So last year, of course, relics were discovered across Heathmore, and these revealed magical myths about the past. And these myths, they were shocking to our various factions because they ran counter to everything that they believed their true history to be. And so when you add in the arrival of the Outlanders, that's a lot of change in Heathmore. And so when it came time to developing the narrative of the year, we asked ourselves, how would a society realistically respond to all this change?
How do they react?
The answer is not well. So just like our world, there'd be a lot of xenophobia, there's tension, strife, chaos. You have some groups that are inviting to the Outlanders, others want them to leave. And you have some who believe the myths of the relics and some who don't. More on that a little bit later. But all of this, you know, it's the perfect recipe for crime and atrocity to run rampant. And so here we are at the Year of Injustice.
So where does the Orcos and Camera position themselves in this kind of war?
That is a great question. So in a Year of Injustice, you can imagine that the Horkos are doing pretty well for themselves.
Probably their jam, right?
Yeah, it's sort of in their wheelhouse. And they have another sort of ace up their sleeve, and that is Commander Revere.
Oh, that's the hero skin from Year 7, Season 1.
Year 6, Season
Year
4.
6 and Season
Yeah.
There you go.
So recall that she saw a prophecy in the celestial sphere of the future, and now we can confirm that she largely saw year 7.
So she saw exactly what's gonna happen this year.
If you believe that she saw a prophecy,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
And specifically, she saw the events of Heresy, our first season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is one reason why the Horkos have a leg up over Chimera right now.
And I think we saw something maybe in the
Yes.
trailer
Yes. So
time.
last time I was here, I mentioned that there was a clue as to what the future.
Yes,
of
I
For Honor
remember
held.
people were picking apart the set. They were trying
Yeah.
to figure out where the clue was,
And
but it wasn't a trailer right in.
It was
the-
right in front of your eyes.
There you
At the beginning of the trailer that we showed last season, glass shards pass by the screen.
Mhm.
One of them contains imagery that's purely about heresy. So it has nothing to do with Shattered Fates.
This one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this
And
one.
nobody figured it out except for one person on Reddit
Really?
immediately was like, "What is this?"
They got it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like even
God.
before we dropped the trailer, they just put that up there
Whoa!
somehow.
They didn't want something.
Our undying respect.
Okay. I mean, I think that's
Nothing. Yeah. And Helix, of course, was behind that amazing trailer.
Yeah, so let's dive into this trailer itself. So you guys have been working with the marketing team to create, I mean, obviously, amazing trailer for the 400 team. What about this one? Like, how did you bring? What was the challenge to bring the Injustice team to this trailer?
First of all, it's always fun, like each season, to work with the marketing team at For Honor because we're able to bring different flavor, like to each season, and not only a different flavor, but also to use different medium. Sometimes it's 3D, sometimes it's mostly motion graphics. Other time we're going into this 2D approach, and it's just depend of what we want to express during the season. And for this season of Injustice, we wanted something very sculptural to show the injustice, something that we can feel with texture and everything. So we went for a more like cinematic feel with CG. So this is why we kind of build this type of trailer.
And when we think Injustice, we obviously think of justice itself, and like the symbol just come like to mind, the scale and the blindfold woman, like on.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
guess
but that's the justice. That's
Exactly.
the statue of justice that we all know. But we needed to do kind of the opposite.
The
We wanted to
injustice.
create the statue of injustice.
Ooh, okay.
So what do? Well, the first thing we did is that I Google statue of injustice, hoping to be lucky.
Ship it.
Exactly, but no, there was not that much result, which is a good thing. So then
good
we
thing,
can
yeah.
start from scratch. That being said, we wanted still to keep something that people are familiar with. So we started definitely our like starting base was the Statue of Justice. So then we tried to figure ways like how can we modify some of its symbol so it create injustice instead.
So from the narrative perspective, we have the idea. Peo, please, how do we do that? Like, how do we start from an idea to the trailer that we just saw?
Because that's the easy part. Like we do
Yeah,
this, and
thinking-
then we're like, hey, when your team make this
Just do it
happen.
now.
Yeah, so at Helix we have two big art teams. So one most responsible of all the static image, so key art, concept
Okay.
art, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And the other one where I work, so is more like all the cinematic.
Okay.
So cinematic trailer. So then me and Simon Gastin, the art director responsible of the key art, try to different concept of the statue, how we can make it more injustice. So we try
Oh.
different posing, deface it a little bit, adding some chains. And then we ends up with the standing posing with a blindfold, reveal one of these eyes.
Ah.
So she look at the For Honor world, and after
Destroy.
Very iconic pose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iconic.
So and then we add some chain to represent the injustice. So the injustice control the justice like a puppet.
Uh-huh.
So after that we add some For Honor weapon and some armor piece to just remember this is the injustice in the world of For Honor. And we add some the sword of Astria to the shield, the sword of Astria.
I know the viewer right now were waiting for this image because they were trying to exactly like pinpoint which armor set. Oh, this one, and I think most of them were right, but they know the game. They know the game very well. So they were like, oh, but there you go. This is your answer. This is exactly. So it's cool. It represents, I guess, like all the For Honor world mixed up together. But like
Exactly.
it's so
Exactly.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the final image. Of
So then we work with the lighting. The lighting is like kind of clair obscur, just to reveal some part of the statue and the armor piece. And for the trailer, we were really inspired by all the opening title we can see at the beginning of the show and movie. So yeah, so that's the result. So hope you like it. So that was a blast to work with you on this project, guys.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean it's really good. It looks amazing, and I feel like it represents the year 7. So
Yes.
thank you so much for explaining all of that. I'm pretty sure people love it. I'm enjoying it. I'm super hyped. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
It was a pleasure. Come back next time, maybe.
We will.
Absolutely.
So let's dive into the content for the year 7. But before that, just a quick transition. I think we do have weapon, maybe or no?
Ooh.
I don't know. Maybe Mike's gonna tell me. No, we don't have a weapon yet. So we'll come back in a few minutes to talk about all the content coming up for year 7.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and fast forward.
Like wait for it. Let's dive into like year 7. I just cannot like wait for it. I'm pretty sure people are excited as well.
Yes, sir.
So Stefan, what can we expect for the year 7? The content.
Yes.
The content of year 7.
Awesome. Thank you for having us here. As the previous segment talked all about, we're entering year 7, the Swords of Injustice. Super excited for this. What we've done is we've broken down each season into its own injustice. And each of the factions are going to have to deal with a particular injustice.
Okay.
So first up is going to be the Knights' problem to deal with one. Then season 2, the Outlanders are going to have one that focuses on them. Season 3, the Wulin will get a turn at dealing with an injustice. And finally, season 4, maybe the greatest injustice of all, will be dealt with by the Vikings.
It's yeah. I mean, for me, yeah, it's like seeing that hero select screen there with that little missing spot. It's the
greatest
hard.
injustice.
That's the greatest injustice. Okay, well,
For me, that's the greatest injustice. Like my OCD hurts.
we'll wait. We'll wait until the season to see what it is, and then we'll compare the two. But
Fair enough. Fair enough.
and then in terms of this, basically what we're going to do is we're going to release 2 new heroes. They're going to come at Season 2, TU2. This is going to be an Outlander. Always exciting to bring an Outlander with new culture, new gameplay possibilities. Super cool. And then Season 4, we're going to bring a Viking
Very close to
in TU2, new hero.
So I see Viking. It's like
it's a very
Viking pack.
It's the Viking season about a Viking injustice with a Viking hero.
That's a lot of Viking stuff.
Exactly.
It's a lot of Vikings. I like it.
And as you can see, and we're talking about, the hero skins. So we're going to bring 4 hero skins throughout the year, 1 per season. Viking there in season 4, since we mentioned that. First season is going to be Outlander. Second season is going to be Knight. And third season will be Wulin in Q2.
That's the
That's
first
great.
Wulin hero skin as well?
Yes, indeed.
Nice,
Ooh.
nice.
Should be cool for the Wulin.
I'm probably thinking it's going to be for Shaolin.
And each
to be honest.
hero skin will be 1 body type.
Nice.
Okay.
And then finishing off, kind of what's going on
I'll
in this
tell y'all
overall
why
chart
I
here.
think it's
Each
probably
season,
gonna
we're going to
be
bring a battle
Shaolin,
pass at the start of each season.
At the end of the
That's
stream.
going to back up the content of what is the injustice and what's going on in the season.
Gotcha.
And then at each title update will be a free event pass for 3 weeks at the start of each title update.
Awesome. So I know that Halloween comes around every year and other events as well that we support. But what can we expect in terms of event this
Man,
year?
I'm pretty sure I saw a pumpkin on there. So can you confirm the presence of pumpkins?
So, I mean, as you're each alluding to, Halloween
Very
event.
subtle. We're very
Halloween event has always been a big one in For Honor.
It's a fun one.
From that first one long time ago with skeletons.
Yeah.
spooky skeletons.
That was a fun
They're
one.
amazing. Yeah.
Exactly. We tried some different stuff over the years. Last year was Web of Yorogumo. So each time we try to outdo ourselves. This time we're going to try to outdo ourselves again.
Isn't that
It's really a
crazy,
moment for us
guys?
to have fun,
Like,
I feel like.
the fact that
Yeah,
we
it's
literally,
usually a
seemed
little
like
bit
we
outside.
just had those events.
The
And
box.
it's like
Exactly.
time just goes so
and always trying to
fast,
stretch
like,
and really be a bit
we,
more ambitious.
it seemed like we just did
Also,
those
I mean,
events,
like last year there was a
recently,
giant spider
like,
lady
that was
monster,
really last year.
and then you just said the words
Like, it's
outdo
crazy.
ourselves.
Sometimes I
pretty
just
big
can't
spider.
believe how fast
It was pretty
time
big.
goes,
It was
man.
It was
huge.
pretty big.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
Be bigger.
So I know players haven't missed the throwback unique that I'm seeing in the chart and throwback in
yeah.
general.
Yes, I think everyone's pretty hyped about this unique throwback. So just to be clear, we've got an event and a game mode at TU1 of Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be talked about later in the episode. And then the unique throwback in TU2, which we're not going to talk about here. We'll talk about sometime down the line. But we know in our heads what it is, and you know in your hearts what it is. So mark it on your calendars and come back for that too.
It's a lot of smiles. Yeah, I was just saying, it's fine.
Okay, so let's talk about testing ground.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Testing ground. It's basically a public test server inside the game where you get to try potential upcoming changes and directly give us your feedback, and we try to figure out what to do. Push it live, edit it.
Do y'all know?
Sometimes second testing ground. Sometimes cancel it.
But it's called testing ground. I mean, we're testing stuff with the players, collecting feedback, adapting, reacting. I feel like it's a good channel of just back and forth with the community and trying to improve.
Absolutely. It's one of our best back and forth connection points with players directly in the game. To have your hands on and tell us, we love that. So as always, fill out the surveys, enjoy, and we'll do our best to edit based on what makes sense.
There we go.
There you go. And we have something else as well.
Oh, very
I'm excited about. Can I
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Please. Yes, do so.
So for year 7, we're going to have 3 Hero Fest per TU. Yay!
Hey!
More execution. Yay!
Vanessa really likes the executions. It's a little concerning sometimes. But they come out really good. So
she's the most
really,
violent
really
and bloodthirsty among us.
That's
so,
true.
Yes.
Maybe you don't think so, but we're a little concerning sometimes.
That's what they're sitting there.
Yeah, that's why we're on this guy.
So 3 Hero Fest per TU for the whole year.
Exactly. So Hero Fest, for those of you who may not be familiar, is something we introduced last year, where you can try out a hero for free. The hero's on discount for that week. You get some free stickers for logging in on that week. A unique execution is available. So this is our way of delivering a unique execution. And what we're going to add, besides going to 3 per title update, is you're going to get 2 times XP for the hero who's at the center of the hero.
There's no reason not to try a new hero. Try to maybe get good at another main, maybe and try. So that's a lot of execution.
That's a lot. Yeah, I think mathematically, if we look at this and I use my fingers to carry the 2 there, it's 24 Hero Fests planned for this year. That's 24 heroes that are going to get unique executions. That's
Double
24 weeks. That there will be a double XP for like a hero, that's
and a free hero to try as well. Oh my God,
that's absolutely incredible. I'm looking forward to that. That's more than half the year there will be this going on. I'm pretty sure I checked that math yesterday. Is it still?
I don't think that's
no.
Well,
how many weeks are there in a year?
Somebody do the math, please.
And somebody else do the math. You're
yeah,
right.
please.
Sorry.
So about armor variation.
Yes. So this year we're going to bring 2 armor variations per faction. And where we're going to release these is Knights and Samurai are going to get their first in Season 1. And then in Season 2, Viking, Woolen, and Outlanders will round out that first.
If y'all watching this on YouTube.
And then in Season 3, Knights and Samurai are going to get their second armor variation. And then in Season 4, Viking, Woolen, and Outlanders will get their second.
But honestly, my main is Yorm.
And then also we're going to bring this year in Season 1 to 2, the Gladiator's 5th armor set.
Would you just
there you go.
You just drop that like it's nothing, man. This is the 5th armor set for Glad.
I've been waiting for this.
So
that's awesome.
I think we've been waiting a while, so come back for TU2 and enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm sure some of you out there can probably tell us exactly how long you've been waiting. For all of you, foot enthusiasts out there for Gladiator, this will be your moment.
Yeah, I guess.
So can you tell us more? One more for the year, like. We have other stuff, prize. I don't know.
We do have more stuff coming throughout the year. We're not really prepared to say anything.
Come on.
Come on. We have to wait until it's close. And you want one?
Nobody will listen.
Just one more thing.
Just tell me.
There's nobody watching right now?
No.
Max is going to mute it or something.
Yeah.
Just the 3 of us.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's say we're not going to say a date. We're not going to say what hardware it applies to, but we intend to bring a performance mode to For Honor to select hardwares only. So hopefully this will help with frame rate on certain hardware.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, well, the game already looks amazing, so that'll be,
it's true.
that'll be good. Yeah. So.
They look better.
It'll look even better.
Is it for like OG?
Exactly, and this is a great one, and there's some more coming throughout the year that we'll talk about as we get closer to it.
It must be for OG
keeping the surprise
because like us
Gotta wait,
Xbox Series players and PlayStation 5
Well,
players, we
I
need
think
that,
that's
'cause, like,
probably
the
enough.
graphics
That's
look
I feel like
fantastic
that's maybe all
in
we're gonna
general.
get out of that for like some unannounced future stuff. But we have so much more to talk about for Year 7 Season 1 for Heresy. So there's so much in store already. So much we have to look forward to for this year. So that's incredible. We can't wait to dive in. And so next week we're gonna actually launch the season. So we'll come back, I think, and be able to talk a bit more about specifically what's happening in that season. So, Steph, you'll be here for that, and all of you stick around because we're coming right back with more details and I think an awesome trailer. Right?
Yes,
the first trailer for Year 7 Season 1, The Heresy.
I joined the Inquisition with a righteous heart, hoping to stop the fanatics and their twisted faith. Our mission was to purge the heresy. But I was misled. Only the guilty were meant to die. Only those old enough to reach the noose should ever swing from it. This war of faith is madness. A plague on Heathmoor. I will carve out the rot.
Is that Lawbringer? Wait, Lawbringers haven't said this? Bruh. Don't tell me they finna have a Lawbringer reword, dude. Is that a pirate skin? Nah. That pirate skin looks disgustingly good. I don't play pirate like that, but like, because of that hero skin, I might play her a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not gonna be really good with her.
No saints here, only butchers. False idols and empty promises. I'm your salvation.
Nah, bro, I like that pirate skin a lot, guys. Let me know what y'all think about that pirate skin. I know a lot of y'all pirate mans out there are literally losing y'all shit right now. I know y'all are. Shoot, I'm losing mine. I'm not even a pirate man. That tells a lot. Right,
and we're back. Holy crap, that trailer was awesome. That's amazing. And it's so hype. It was like literally my second time seeing it, but it still gets me hype. I love it. That's great. And what's it? Oh my gosh. Back here, you can see the key art now is fully revealed with our awesome new hero skin there. So we're gonna make sure to highlight that because it looks so cool. It's so badass. I love it. So I don't. I'm ready. I'm super hyped. Steph is still here to continue talking about it. And also, we're joined once again by Andre, who's here for the narrative, for the lore, which is one of my favorite components of For Honor. If I'm going to be truthfully honest with you here, so we're gonna dive into the lore of Year 7 Season 1, The Heresy. So, what can you tell us about it?
For the lore, I can tell you that. As the relics were discovered, we have some myths that were, of course, introduced, and people who begin to believe in these myths. Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm going to get into that maybe a little bit later.
Oh no, did I go out of order? I was too excited for the story. I went out of order. I'm sorry. You know, we rehearse and everything. I am.
I'm very excited to get into it as well.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun. All right, you're right. I'm sorry. It's Steph. Steph has got more to talk about. Steph, I'm sorry. I love the story. I'm too excited. But
my kind of man.
That's
what can you tell us?
Exactly. I mean, as everyone's talking about Swords of Injustice, we're going to talk about Season 1 Heresy. We're going to talk all about what does the heresy mean? What is the injustice? Who are the groups fighting here? We'll get into that in 30 seconds.
Okay, all right.
First, we'll do the content rundown.
I'll be patient.
We'll do the content rundown. Okay. What's coming in Title Update 1, a little bit what's coming in Title Update 2, and then we'll get it all. All right, Title Update 1, March 16th. So that's next week, 1 week from now on Thursday.
Testing
Marketing
grounds
calendars.
Market.
We're going to start it off with a bang, of course, with the Heresy of the Relics event. This will include a game mode, so we'll see about the two groups that are fighting.
This man got some terrible openers.
And more about the Injustice.
Okay.
Event Pass, of course, comes with it. Game mode comes with it. So check it out. Battle Pass also launches on March 16. Free track and premium track, loaded with content, mostly on the Fnatic side of this fight. In terms of the hero skin, March 16 again. So Inquisitor Yinshin, as you just saw, in the key art, in the trailer, she's going to be the center of attention here. Andre will tell you all about her in a second. I promise. And then also throughout the season, through title update, Testing Grounds is going to come April 6th.
Nice.
JC, Vanessa, and others are going to talk about Lawbringer and Nusha. Ooh, it's time to bring to prominence.
Nice.
So I'm excited for this.
I don't care about
And then
Nusha,
we've got
bro.
the Hero Fest. Vanessa said 3. I can see you're smiling and staring. Make sure you say 3.
Justice.
And who are these? These are Lawbringer, Pirate, and Ibushi.
Almost like we planned part of that out. That's pretty good. Yeah,
lucky plan here.
Lucky plan. It's good.
Exactly.
Cool.
So that's a quick for Title Update 1. Let's quickly go over Title Update 2. So there's that unique throwback event, which we're not going to talk about, but you are going to put in your calendars, I promise. I'll skip down to the next one, returning playlist. If you can work out what the unique throwback is, this might be an interesting one to help you with your grind and your dress up.
Gotcha. All right.
So you will be happy.
Winks. There we go.
Super winks.
Wink at the camera. Okay.
Going back, new armor variations. These are ones we talked about. So Knight and Samurai are going to get theirs in Season 1 here. And, of course, the Gladiator armor set 5.
Nice.
I think I got all that. Covenant Games. We're going to bring this back as a throwback one more time. And then we won't bring it back for the foreseeable future. And in future seasons, we intend to bring a different throwback per season, basically.
Right, so if you're missing any of that cool, sweet Chimera swag, that'll be the time.
This is your time, exactly. And then next season will be something else.
Yep.
For a bit more variety, basically.
Absolutely.
And then finally in T2, more Hero Fests, and we'll say what they are at a future point.
Awesome. All right. Well, very cool. That's an absolutely packed season ahead of us here. It's great. And is it safe now that I can geek out about lore? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Again, I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
it's fine. But yes, I am very excited about it. So Andre, now I can ask you. Can you please tell us more about the lore and the story behind this heresy?
Absolutely. Yes, as we open the year, after the relics are discovered, some groups really begin to believe in their myths. And one group rises up above the rest. These are the servants of the stake.
Ooh, delicious.
Yes.
Nice.
No, stake spelled S-T-A-K-E.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
okay. Sorry.
the Vlad the Impaler variety.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah.
Yes, they impale their enemies. And so, they worship these relics, the stories of Ramuel, Bolthorn, Myko, to some pretty violent ends. They engage in dark rituals where they will torture and kill non-believers. So that freaks out the rest of Heathmoor.
Understandably so. Yes.
Yes. And so a relic inquisition is formed to purge the heresy. And
I wouldn't expect that. So that's
nobody ever expects.
Nobody expects the.
There it is. We have to do it once.
Wait, that's it. Okay.
Or maybe another time because they don't.
We'll see if we sneak it. But then they'll expect it. Okay.
Yes.
We'll move.
So, of course, the Relic Inquisition, they don't believe in these myths. They regard them as heresy, and they call the servants of the stake as fanatics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so they are also, this is what, I'm getting, of course, here we go. We have a fancy PowerPoint there. This war is all fought over the relics. A war of faith breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
The Inquisition, they want to destroy the relics. The fanatics want to safeguard the relics to worship them.
Mm.
And so this is when our new hero skin, Inquisitor Yinshin, is introduced. She joins the Inquisition with perfectly good intentions.
Sure.
She wants to stop the fanatics from killing innocents. So, that's pretty nice. As a pirate, she's seen what happened to other cultures when they worship false idols and how they fall. But unfortunately, the Inquisition's very indiscriminate in who it kills. So they won't just kill 1 or 2 fanatics in a village, they'll just wipe out the entire village.
And that's also bad. Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
You don't want that either. Yeah.
It's pretty bad. So it's a scorched earth approach.
Ugh.
And so realizing that neither side is in the right, she decides she must remove the relics from the equation entirely.
Yes. That checks out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And so that way, neither side can claim a symbolic victory.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to know more about Inquisitor Yinshin and her short stories are available. Part 1 tomorrow, March 10th. Parts 2 and 3 are available weekly.
Nice. All right. Well, I know I'll be reading them. Obviously, I'll be reading them because, very cool. So that's awesome. Yeah, that's a really cool setup for this season and this narrative. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us, and look forward to the first part of that short story tomorrow. It's coming soon. But also, we have this incredible looking hero skin here. I think it's amazing. Steph, what can you tell us about it?
Of course, thank you. So as Andre was talking about, it's very much based on the Inquisition fantasy, confessor type stuff. In terms of the visuals, you just saw some, manacle kind of thing on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the character, here we go. Throughout the character, you see also ornate kind of embroidery and decoration on the character. This is very much in line with what the Inquisition kind of symbols are, which are much more ornate, circular, as you see on the key art on the skull, as compared to the stake followers, who are much more rigid and straight-lined.
She's got a big hat. That's honestly my favorite feature of this. So.
Gotta have a cool hat. That's like the law.
Yeah.
So,
and the focus of the entire season.
Right. The hat.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay.
Exactly. And then all through very much Inquisition stuff, but you see one kind of item on her hip here, now her left hip.
Yeah.
That kind of ties her to her future, I guess.
Yes, the doll. So Inquisitor Yinshin, she keeps this doll on her as a reminder of the horrors that were perpetrated by the Inquisition. This doll belonged to a victim of one of the Inquisition's massacres, and Inquisitor Yinshin unwittingly participated in this massacre. So yes, she keeps that doll as a reminder on her at all times, never to again engage in that kind of indiscriminate violence.
Awesome. Well, that's really cool. Looks great. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, that'll be available as well next week, March 16th, the launch of the season. So it's awesome. So thanks for sharing that. But we also have some other cool visuals that are going to launch with the season with a battle pass. Steph, do you want to tell us a bit about what to expect from that?
Of course. So to continue to support this, the battle pass content is very much based on the Fanatics versus Inquisitors kind of battle. Very much we see this content being a bit more on the Fanatics side. So the gargoyle here, awesome, obviously. The iron mask thing.
It really captures how brutal they are and how uncompromising and cultish they are too in all these designs.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme to put someone in an iron mask, so this is maybe what the Inquisition's worried about, but the two of them going at it is a bit... I was thinking when I was listening to the story, I was like, I thought Vanessa was the most bloodthirsty, but maybe it's everybody.
Maybe not, yeah.
But yeah, spikes, brutal instruments, torturous stuff. Pretty cool.
That's a lot. Spikes, or would you say stakes, maybe?
Sometimes.
See, bring it back around, full circle. Full circle. And yeah, there's some other cool content in there too. New execution, new podiums. That's really cool stuff. And and we see a little sneak peek on some of the weapons here. What can you tell us about the Battle Pass weapons?
Totally. I mean, like looking at these weapons, you can see they're a bit on the Fnatic side as well. When I look at them, I very much see a hint of the Chalice of Immortality that they might be worshipping. So that red, kind of almost vampiric, gothic influence through the metal. Pretty cool.
These weapons are for fanatics by fanatics.
Oh, there
essentially.
You go. There you
Yeah.
go. That's a good slogan. Put that on the bottom.
You can see it as
Nice.
a commercial.
Yeah.
Yes, they're forged to help out any fanatic on their sacred quest to kill a non-believer. And of course, they're not picky about which faction or allegiance you come to, as long as you buy what they're selling.
Sure. So they made something for everybody. That's great.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing. That's awesome. And if you want to see more of the weapons, you'll get a little more sneak peek on one of the transitions coming up. But that's great. So amazing. Super excited for the lore, for all the packed content in this season. So thank you both very much for coming here and talking about that. And for everybody else, don't forget tomorrow the first part of the short story is going to be live for Inquisitor Yin Chin. Next week we could do the hero skin and play with the hero skin yourself. So that's awesome. And I think coming up next, we're going to talk a bit more about the launch, this big event that's going to launch Year 7, Season 1, the Heresy of the Relics. It'll be the big event, pass, new game mode. So we're going to talk some more about that real soon, so don't go anywhere. And yeah, we'll be right back.
I don't know why, but I thought like it comes out, like the hero skin, I thought it comes out tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, but on the 16th when the season comes out. But they're saying it might come out tomorrow. If it's coming out tomorrow, then I don't know. You know, like, we might have to cop it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna cap, you know what I'm saying? Like, but, you know, this season is looking pretty good so far. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, before we wind it up, like, I just want to talk about some things before we wind it up. I mean, fast forward it up. My bad. I don't know why the hell I keep saying rewind. Like, I'm so used to like rewinding stuff. Like, if I miss it, I'll just rewind it. Or if I like, you know, miss something, I'll tell somebody to rewind it back so I'll be able to like, you know, see what happened. And I always keep saying rewind, and I'm used to saying it all the time, but I meant fast forward. So we're gonna fast forward all this after I talk about some things. But the things I pretty much want to talk about is, okay, so we're having a rework for Lawbringer finally. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that we all been asking for Lawbringer. Nusha, I don't know. Like, honestly, like Nusha, I'm not gonna lie, Nusha did need a rework. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I'm not a Nusha player, so that's why like I really don't care for her as much. And plus, when I face her, she's already a threat because honestly, like those traps are really annoying. I don't know if anybody else goes through that, but like the traps are like very, very annoying, and I really hate them. And honestly, every single Nusha I face, I go through it. So it's like, I don't know if y'all go through the same problem, if y'all do, then y'all know what y'all know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? For the ones that do go through it, you know what I'm saying? The ones that really don't have a problem with it, then I'm not talking to you. But honestly, like, you know, I'm liking it so far. You know what I'm saying? The weapons look pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm digging everything so far. So, we're gonna go ahead and fast forward it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we can, like, you know, get through this. Oh, my bad, guys. My bad. Okay, we're not gonna fast forward this part. We're gonna let this part go. I want all y'all to see the weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like, after this, then we're gonna go ahead and then fast forward it. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to see all the weapons. My bad. That was totally my fault. I'm just gonna let this go through, so we're gonna look at the weapons that they're gonna be adding, and we can go ahead and do it. Oh, and like I said, guys, I know I've said it 1,000 times, but I really want y'all opinion on how y'all feel about my my mic. Let me know if my mic sounds good to y'all, because honestly, like I said, I haven't used this mic since last year Christmas. So literally, like I said, I'm still trying to get my setup and everything. So like, try to get that set up, then I'm not gonna be using this mic. But I have bought me a newer mic for my Xbox, and it sounds just like this one a little bit. So like, I'm using that one right now for my Xbox. But like this one right here, when I'm doing reactions, stuff like that, this is the mic that I'm gonna be using for now. But I just need better headphones, because right now the headphones that I'm using are like the ones that I originally used for plugins, and these headsets have a plugin.
Welcome back.
I
So
was
I
using
have
those.
Julian and GC with me. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and
Welcome.
see
Thank you
if
for
we can-
having me.
Yeah.
I think it's
So
about,
this is the part
Instagrams.
where we talk about the launch event for the season. The Erasy of the Relic, sorry. Starting March 16 to April 6th, featuring a new game mode. A new game mode.
Brand new game mode.
A brand new game mode. Brand new game mode. So there you go. I think, Julien, we can talk about the map dressing just before having it, just to make you wait a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Almost there.
I'm going to leave it to JC for the game mode. I'm going to talk
be
about
unlimited time
a bit more of the map dressing. So just to give you a bit of context, with Heresy of the Relics, essentially we're in Secluded Keep map, and this is the place of worship of the fanatics. And what do they worship? They worship essentially the relics that were discovered in year 6. So back to your quiz earlier on. Here's the results. We had the dagger. We had the bracelet, and then we had the chalice.
There you go.
Of course, the sphere that's shattered.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 relics that you'll find in the map. I'm going to let JC get a deep dive a bit more into that, but essentially the dagger is going to give you an attack buff. The bracelet is going to give you a vision buff, and then the chalice is a shield buff.
Okay.
So first thing for map dressing was to essentially create kind of like a sub-environment, something that would depict essentially the buff that will be provided to you by these relics. So starters, capture point A, that's where you're going to get the dagger. That's the attack buff. So it's got a military courtyard vibe to it. It's there to depict kind of like the aggression, the chaos of the war that's being waged between the fanatics and the inquisitors. So you've got the swords that are drawn with the statues. You've got the lions. There was the altar as well. That's got, again, those swords kind of like spike-like. Initially in the initial, we love spikes. We love spikes because
spikes everywhere.
Spikes everywhere, But in initial design, we had spikes, but it's a bit too much. But that stayed. It was toned down a bit, but it stayed in the design of the altar. So that's CPA. CPB, the catacombs area. That's where you're going to get the vision buff, and that's tied again to the bracelet. A very cool element that we had in year 6, the bracelet was tied to a curse. So anyone who wrongfully wore the bracelet was cursed, essentially. We wanted to keep that element. We thought it was a cool aspect, so we kept that in the map. And essentially, the team that's capturing the CPB is going to be setting a curse upon its opposing team, essentially, thus being able to see them through the wall.
It makes sense that it's like underground a little bit. Like
well, there you go. So
I like the narrative.
It's
like
the perfect, it's perfect setting. It's like crypt-like, and there's a lot of really cool details. If you have time to take a look, there's an homage to the hero skins in year 6 as well.
That's cool.
There are tons of cool little details in that area. So that's CPB. Finally, you've got CPC, which is the shield buff. Now, to be clear, it's not a healing buff.
Okay.
But the team really inspired and really rooted its inspirations with the aspect of healing, of rejuvenation. So if you take a look around in the map, there's very little organic elements in the map. It's mostly stone,
very gloomy,
metal.
but
Exactly. But at CPC, that's where you're going to see more greenery. And again, it's to depict essentially the rejuvenation aspect of the buff that you're getting. And then you're getting as well the super epic tree. Well, there you go.
There you go.
It looks great.
It looks beautiful.
Great.
Yeah. And I love it's not a map that we use we see often.
I thought the tree
It's,
was
it's not a map that we see often, and it's essentially with the map dressing that was done, it really feels like a fresh map as well. It's really cool, awesome work that's been done, both from a level design standpoint, both from a level art standpoint, modeling as well, 3D art. So super happy with the end result. And then the wrapper of all this, so you've got three unique identities for the CPAs. Wrapper in that is we've got the injustice, we've got the chaos, and we've got aggression. So that's that's all across the map. You'll see those items, namely with crows, and essentially bringing everything together.
And so the free event pass will be tied as well with all this team that we see in the map, right? So
absolutely.
Can we see like all the stuff? There you go.
Let's get into it. So again, the pillars for the art pillars was essentially chaos,
yes,
oppression, injustice, and the art style is definitely Gothic Victorian, and that you're definitely seeing it in the map. You're seeing in the symbols and the patterns of the outfits as well, and then you were just seeing the ornament with the statue. When researching for imagery to illustrate these pillars, a lot that was found was the image of a angelic figure, either bearing arms, holding a tipped scale, either weeping. So all of this is to symbolize chaos, aggression, oppression with the tears, of course, and injustice with the tipped scales. So you're seeing that.
I feel like this ornament with the wing modify. I feel like it could be like full angel fantasy. It will fit the team.
Yeah, it looks super cool.
And of course it's definitely if you navigate the map, you'll find it, and you may have seen it.
That's true. If you pay attention in the menu, I think we had a little sneak peek of this, right?
You may have already
seen it right
seen
now. No, it's done. I think players seen it. Anyway, if you see it, then you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
You know. There you go.
And we have the mood effect as well. Like
the mood effect. So the mood effect is like the perfect, bringing everything, all of the elements that I just mentioned, all of that together. So you've got the Gothic Victorian influence with the stained glass. You've got the crows, and then the sword with the dripping blood as well. So all in all, tying everything together.
You can feel your gut. You can be like full gut.
Yeah, we're
like
kind of bringing back the late 90s or mid to late 90s.
Yeah, a little bit. So let's talk about the game mode. I think everybody's waiting for this.
Yeah.
DC, please.
All right. So like Julian explained, we're playing in Secluded Keep.
Yes.
Which is normally a map that's in Tribute and some other game modes, but mostly a Tribute map. So we took it, we repurposed it a little bit, cut off the top portion so you can just go up and run around and do drop attacks or whatever you'd like to do. And then what we did is we kind of made a game mode that's kind of a bit of a spin on the minion, right? So there's no minions anywhere, but each capture point, like mentioned previously, has a buff associated to it. Now, when you get the dagger buff, your team gets 20% increased damage. It's team-wide, right? So it's your entire team deals more damage. When you get the chalice, your team gets a small shield that regens after X amount of time, so you can kind of it helps you survive a little bit more. And when you get the bracelet, your entire team gets full vision on the opposing team, so you see where they are at all times.
But I assume you want to capture all the points, right?
Right? Yes, you want to capture all the points because you want to get all those buffs, right? So it kind of makes it interesting, and the map is a bit smaller in general, so there's a lot more fights going on, a lot more stuff happening, and because there's no minions, we still want players to still be able to get their feats, so we doubled the renown gain while you're holding points, so you kind of can get your feats and the rest of this stuff. But what's also really special in this game is Inquisitor Yin-Chen, right? So you've seen her, you've seen the skin. I was looking at the chat earlier, like, people love the skin.
There you go.
She looks amazing.
Yeah,
so she will drop in after a certain amount of time.
Okay.
And she's a neutral bot, right? So she comes in, she's neutral. And then her goal is to kind of equalize what's going on, right? Lore-wise, she would kind of it's a bit more status quo type of thing. She's against everybody. So what she's going to do is she's going to run around and she's going to try to focus attacking the team that's currently winning. So if you have more points, if your team has more points than your opponent's team, she's going to focus on you. Now, even if you're losing and you start attacking her, she's going to turn around and defend herself because, you know.
Can you manipulate her?
Yeah, and you can manipulate her a little bit, right? So if you're seeing that you're losing, just by a little bit, you can go, okay, I'm going to hold off.
Yeah, you wait a little bit.
Focus, try to kill other people. She's super strong, has a ton of HP, can use all of her feats like on very, very low cooldown. So she's a force to be reckoned with, right? So she's super dangerous. She can also uncap points and bring them back to neutral status. So she will run around. She will uncap points. She will kill people, do all that sort of stuff. It's super cool. Whenever we were playing it, it was really interesting to kind of.
It was really tight during the play session.
Right?
It was really like always in like.
We often ended up being, there was like a lot of back and forth and like really, really tight games.
A lot of turnaround.
Yeah, it was super interesting. We really loved it. And then you can kill her, right, as a player. If you manage to land the killing blow on her, you're going to get a ton of renown, unlock like probably all your feats in one go, and it really helps you get a leg up on the opponent. So she's threatening. You kind of sort of want to have her on your side to go kill opponents, but then you want to kill her also.
Too much, so
we really wanted to introduce like this, a really different dynamic here, right? We had something like that with Ramiel at some point, which was interesting too. But Ramiel was more of a kind of like a boss in the middle, whereas this one is really, she's going to roam around and mess up everybody. So it's really interesting, makes for a really different game mode. We hope everybody tries it out and has a lot of fun. We had a ton of fun playing it, testing it, doing all of the iterations. The art is amazing. Everything is
almost tried almost every game
super top-notch about this, so I hope people play it and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's super cool. I'm pretty sure like people are excited. They cannot wait to play it. So you're going to be able to play it next week, March 16. But you know that already, right? So thank you guys. Coming up, going to talk about patch notes. So don't go too far. And yeah, there you go. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we got more weapons. That must be for Highlander. Because that's a very long sword. Yeah, okay. Wait, no, is that for Warden? That must have been for Warden. But these are the, yeah, that was for Warden. Yeah, these are the Knights. We're doing Knights, Vikings, Samurai, Wulan, and Outlanders. They're doing it in order. Okay. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. Just depending off the weapon, I just thought it was Highlander because like it was a very long sword. Pause. But honestly, like I'm liking it so far, guys. I'm liking this a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm gonna try my best to fit all this in. You know what I'm saying? Because like by the time y'all see this video, I'ma upload it today. After I'm done. But if y'all want to wonder like what I'm streaming this on, I streamed this on March 9th. So it's a possibility by the time I upload this video, it might be already March 10th, and I might be able to see it tomorrow. For the ones that have watched this live, or for the ones that just came to my video, you know what I'm saying? Like by the time I upload this, yeah, I'm probably gonna be uploading this tomorrow because honestly, like I'm gonna upload it tonight, but like my thing takes a little longer than usual, so like I might upload a little later than usual. So yeah, so I might be seeing this video by tomorrow, but not too late. Also, I should be having a Wulong video for y'all this weekend also. So stay on the lookout on my channel for that. I'm definitely gonna be having some Wulong gameplay very, very soon. I already have put up Hogwarts. For the ones that haven't seen that video yet, go check it out on my YouTube channel. I already posted that video about like a day or two ago, so make sure you go check that video out and leave a like and everything. If you like the video and everything, it's already up there. But I should be having more on, like I said, this weekend. So I've been really wanting to play that game recently because honestly, like I've been seeing a lot of people playing it on TikTok and anywhere else. And honestly, like I really want to try out the game. I got it downloaded right now as we speak. I just haven't had the time to actually play it because I've been so busy. But honestly, like this weekend I should have time to actually get some content out for y'all. So honestly, like, I'm happy about that. And also, guys, I'm still gonna finish up Atomic Heart. Don't think I'm done with that game. I am not done with that game just yet. I'm going to be finishing up that game also. But before I finish up that game, I'm gonna have to get out Wulong first and everything, and all this other stuff that's coming out. And after that, then I'm gonna go ahead and start trying to get out Atomic Heart because I'm really starting to get into that game too. Because that game is a lot of fun too. So honestly, like, we're gonna be having a lot of, For Honor content, Hogwarts, Wulong, a lot of those videos on the channel for right now. So those are the videos, and Resident Evil. I forgot because I just started Resident Evil Village series. I put out part 1 already about like a week or 2 ago. So if y'all haven't checked that video out, also make sure you check that video out. Also, it's already out on my channel as we speak. So if y'all want, go check that out and leave a like if y'all like the video and everything. So yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know everything so y'all be up to date. So y'all. So I won't just be leaving y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? Like just wondering, like when I'm gonna be posting stuff, or when this is gonna happen, when that's gonna happen. So I just wanted to let y'all know, so I can like keep y'all up to date on stuff, because I don't like leaving people out, like leaving people hanging. You know what I'm saying? Like I always want to let my people know what I'm doing. So yeah.
We're back.
We're back again.
We're back. Yeah, I know. I heard we were talking about balancing stuff, patch notes, so I kicked Julian off and I came on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that's.
I sat on that side because I love talking about animations during.
Yeah,
that's
right. So yeah.
So welcome back, Nolan.
Thank you so
Let's
much.
dive into patch note. I mean, we don't have to wait too much.
No,
this, right?
let's just dive in.
Excited. It's a big one too. So
got a lot of stuff to talk
yes.
about. Yeah.
So let's go. Just a quick reminder as well. I mean, but you know that by now. March 16.
Yeah.
March 16. It's gonna come.
March
So
16, yeah. All right, so let's get started, right? So first up, we have the dodge and dodge attack changes. So just to give a bit of a refresher,
we
did a testing grounds a little while ago. I don't remember the exact date.
I don't think I played that.
I'm gonna not do math right.
Yeah, right.
Might as
It's
well.
complicated. So where we tested a bunch of changes to dodges and dodge attacks, right? And so normally, like, what we often do, not always, but what we often do is when we do a testing grounds and we go, okay, we're going to go live with this, we kind of make a decision. Usually it comes the season after. Now for this, we wanted to take our time, make sure that we went through all the feedback, went through everything, and try to make the best decisions we could. Generally, the feedback was super positive. People liked a lot of the changes, most of the changes, in fact.
Yeah.
But we've still adjusted a few things to make sure that things are going to be okay, and then we'll go through them like this. So first up, side dodge heavy attack, which was, I think, the most contentious part here we're going to talk about. But generally, most side dodge heavy attacks now act as light attacks when they're parried, right? So it means that for most heroes, when you do a side dodge heavy, when it's going to get parried, you're going to be able to land a heavy attack on them, like a top heavy for most heroes or whatever. The idea here is that we want to have essentially every single dodge attack have more risk and reward associated to it.
Yeah,
so to do this, we've decided to go, okay, well,
which is really good.
If you decide to
with
commit
that.
to a
Totally
dodge attack,
fine with that.
if your opponent properly reads it and reacts to it and does what they have to do, they will get at least a heavy's worth of damage every single time. Now, the big point that players did not like as much in the testing grounds was the fact that it also applied to the slow faintable ones, namely Jiangjun, Tiandi, and Warmonger's side dodge heavies. So for those, that change does not apply. So the rule now is if your side dodge heavy is not parryable, if it's not feintable, sorry.
Yeah,
if it's if it's not feintable, you get a heavy attack every time you parry it. If it is feintable, it's still going to remain as if it's a heavy attack, right? So when we're going to add new heroes in the future, like you saw, we're going to have 2 new this year. If they have feintable side dodge heavies, they're going to be heavy. They're going to be like heavy parries. If they are not feintable, they're going to be light parries. That's the idea here.
So that's the rule now.
That's
the hard and fast rule we're going by.
Nice.
It's very important for us to have what we like to call in game design a bit. Like it's predictability, outcome predictability, right? So it's you know when you're playing against a character and they do a dodge attack and you parry it, you know what's going to happen, right? Even if you don't know the hero, you know what's going to happen. And so when you do manage to land that parry, right? So that's very, very important because it kind of lowers the need for for overall game knowledge, right? And having all those really weird, obscure rules that, oh yeah, I had to know this, I had to know that, I know that. And that's like false depth. People think, oh yeah, the game is a lot deeper for that. That's not really depth, it's just game knowledge. It's just knowing more than your opponent. And you can have a leg up on them sometimes, but it's not conducive to a healthy game.
Yeah.
That's why we're trying to set these rules. So that's kind of how we're going with this.
Nice.
So next up, we have delayable side dodge attacks. I know some people are really smiling right now. I have in particular. So most side dodge attacks now can be delayed from 200 to 400 milliseconds. This should help a lot of situations, right? We have a lot of times where some attacks, if you do like a side dodge attack that's like 600 and it only could occur at 300, it wouldn't be able to beat some bashes, like beat some action recoveries and stuff. With this, it should fix most of these issues. Also makes all of the ones that are not feintable immune to guard break when you buffer them, when you do them super quickly. So most of the time when you're going to do a heavy feint into guard break, you're going to bounce off of it. We want to have that. But if you delay them a little bit too much, that guard break is going to land, right? So we want to have that kind of reliability there, that flexibility. And it also really feels so much better being able to delay them and go, okay, I'm gonna dodge, okay, I'm gonna attack a little bit later. So that feels super good in general. So we really wanted to put that in. We had it set at 300 for a while for a bunch of heroes because we were seeing a lot of people complaining about dodge attacks, like, oh yeah, they're way too strong, whatever. And it was like a way of us normalizing that. And so we're stepping back from it a little bit to give more player agency and have a little bit more like finer control over things.
It seems like small change, like between like 400 ms and 300 ms, but in terms of animation, it's 3 frame. It seems like nothing, but it has an impact every time they move. Like just for like, it's gonna be easy to just move for like 100 ms, but it had a lot of work on our plate to rework the transition to all of those moves. So
because if you can do it a little bit quicker, then it might look a little bit
and
odd.
now you see them sometimes during the testing ground because we don't have time to. But I mean, we assume player like it's a testing ground, so you have to test if it works, and if we're okay with this, we're gonna change them. So that's what we did for those. So
there's a few exceptions to these that are listed. I'm not gonna go through them. You can read. I'm assuming. I hope so anyway. And then, so you can see that the exceptions here. I'm sure somebody's screen capping it and putting it on Reddit already.
It's already there. There you go.
We're good. But those are the exceptions. So that's how we're going forward with this.
So again, it's kind of nice though, because again, what you're doing here is again you're setting the rules to that make sense, and then you're also still adding the exceptions here. What is so it's not just going to be some blanket thing that is going to make some heroes feel like more unbalanced. In other words, it's nice to take the time to
we really want to have those exceptions for very, very specific attacks. So that these still filled the purpose that we want them to fill. That's kind of how it works. That's really good.
Nice.
So the side dodge bash is vulnerability. So we did 2 changes here. So like I mentioned before, we wanted to make sure that if you do manage to read that your opponent is going to do a side dodge attack, you get a heavy's worth of damage. In the case of side dodge bashes, clearly you can't parry a bash. So you can dodge them though. So you can do heavy, feint, side dodge. So now every single side dodge bash no longer chains on miss. And they are all vulnerable to guard break on miss as well. If you manage to like do it on read, do like heavy feint, and you go, my opponent's gonna do a side dodge bash. So you side dodge and guard break them. It should always land. So that's good. It's kind of it's a change to some heroes. It might make them a little bit weaker there, but this only applies to side dodge bashes, right? So specifically for Shigoki, for example, where beforehand he could chain on miss on side and on front. Now he can chain on miss on front, but not on sides, to make sure that it's fair and that defensive maneuvers have specific counters to them, whereas the front dodge doesn't have any defense, doesn't have anything. So it's really a case of, well, I want to be able to enter my offense, I want to be able to do my stuff. So we kept it on the front one, for example, for that. So that's just the important thing here, because I remember seeing a lot of people going, oh yeah, all these bashes, don't chain on miss anymore, but it's really only specifically the side dodge ones that if they did, they no longer do. And we also slowed down some side dodge bashes, but they're all now 600 ms at a minimum. The reason for this is that some of them were 533, we had them at 500 at some point, and we find that like at that point, the reactability threshold for bashes gets a little bit too tricky. So at 600, these should be a lot more easily reactable by everybody. There's a big tell of seeing the side dodge as well. So you see, okay, they're dodging. Probably a bash is going to be coming, so you have time to go out. If you fainted, I need to dodge, and you can pre-dodge a little bit, and it works a little bit better. So it's kind of like a big difference here. Yeah, that's it. You can pre-dodge. Yeah.
Technical term.
Technical term, pre-dodging. Yeah.
Nice.
Then we have defense while dodging. So this might seem a bit complex there, but non-reflex guard heroes no longer have regular block while they're dodging in any direction.
Okay.
Now, this is basically Valk rules, right? Valkyrie has this currently on live. We're applying this to everybody. So when you dodge, either front or side or back, most reflex guard heroes, actually all of them, but most of them except for Valk, kept their regular block. So either it forced your guard to swap in a specific direction and you would gain your guard during the dodge in that direction, or it would keep it where it was. For example, Warden could guard top and then side dodge and keep the guard on top. This was causing issues a lot of the time with undodgeable attacks. There's a lot of mix-ups, like if you look at Aphira, for example, it was really difficult because we couldn't really do these mix-ups before where, well, we can't do undodgeable in a single direction because you could just say, well, I'm going to block in that direction and then dodge in a different direction, or even dodge in that direction, however it is, and then you could avoid both of them. That's why often enough we try to put them on top, because on top, like, some heroes force it on the sides. But now this applies to everybody. So it means that it gives us more freedom as to what stance we can put on dodgeable attacks. More stuff like we did with Aphira where like only top is undodgeable, sides are going to be something else if we want. It really opens up that space and lets us do a lot more stuff there. So that's really, really great.
Okay.
So clearly, like, reflex guard heroes didn't have this, so it doesn't apply to them. It's really specifically for non-reflex guard heroes. I want to make it clear, we've had some discussions internally. People were unsure, didn't really understand. So super clear, it's all the non-reflex guard heroes. Then a little change from we had from the testing grounds is that heroes regain their defense 100 MS after being able to swap their guard during a dodge. So normally, you can start changing your guard at 600 MS into a dodge. And so now you can get, 633, sorry. And so now you can get your defense at 733 while you're dodging. You can do a guard swap, and even if you don't guard swap, it'll come back at that moment. That was a bit of feedback we got a lot from pro players there. I want to give a lot of shout outs to them because I don't want to name names, but we're talking to some players.
Yeah, you know who you are.
You know who you are, right? Yeah. And so, so a lot of the feedback we've gotten for that is that it made a lot of these heroes feel really, really, really unsafe in group fights, because that defense was coming back super late. So because of this, at least it comes back a little bit earlier. If you did an empty dodge, if you didn't throw an attack out of it or whatever, at least you can block a little bit earlier and it feels better.
All right.
And then last but not least, another change from the testing ground is that Conquer and Kensei superior block windows are now 100 to 300 MS, which is the same as Deflects. So Deflect is a little bit different because there's like iframes involved, but it's the same as this, right? And so the idea is that Conquer and Kensei used to have superior block during the entire duration of their dodges, either from side or from front. So because of this...
Oh, that explains so much.
Right? So because of this, they were still able to negate some mix-ups and have that defense. So we've kind of reworked this so that it feels like the other superior block heroes, like Zanhu, like Valk, and like other reflex guard heroes, to have the same timing there. So it's still usable, but it's not I can block and superior block the entire time I have my dodge. So it's a bit of changes for those heroes, but it still works. It still feels quite good. Just the window is going to be a little bit tight.
Right. Okay.
And then last but not least, we have invulnerability while dodging. This one is a big one. I know I've seen some videos about it, and it doesn't really feel like you don't really notice it until it happens to you, right? So
makes sense, yeah.
Right? The problem we had is that a long time ago there was a choice that we made when we were building the game that for realism and like for things to look more natural, if you dodged and you hit a wall or another player or a minion or whatever it was, you would lose your invulnerability frames, your invincibility. We call them iframes in like more technical terms.
Yeah.
You would lose them because you're no longer moving. And so we wanted to look good if you were still going to get hit by a weapon because you wouldn't really see it phase through you. Whereas if you're moving, you don't see it phase through you as much, so it didn't really matter. However, this caused a lot of issues. Let's say you're stuck in a corner, right? You're in a map that has tight corners, you could get stuck in the corner and get bashed infinitely and just never be able to get out of it because your invulnerability frames would never, ever, ever kick in because you would hit walls in any direction you were dodging, so you would get stuck there. So with this change now, is you no longer lose them when you dodge, no matter what happens. You can hit walls, players, heroes, whatever it is, and you're not going to lose them, which means that those situations will not happen anymore.
So for the people that get stuck into those corners, they know about. They know exactly what that means.
I've seen videos from content creators showing why this is amazing.
Yes.
So go look at their videos.
Amazing.
If you're not sure of what this means, but it makes a huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty big injustice to correct. So
exactly.
There you go.
There we go. Seasonal themes. There we go.
That works really well. Okay, so I think that's it for dodge stuff, right?
Well, and I again, like that's a lot. By the way, my brain has been like just rotating all the gears, turning as best they can in these scenarios. But I think it's you said something too that I really think is cool. Is that like some of these decisions, like they're made like 6 years ago, 7 years ago when the game's still in development, and I think it's awesome that like we can again spend this time with the community to look at like the state of the game and to
definitely
make decisions like this that like just because we thought about that 6 years ago doesn't mean that has to be the way it is today, and we can do something about it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Really cool.
I love that we're in year 7.
Mm-hmm.
We're still making big changes like this.
Yeah.
Right. And we're all like the entirety of the team is super dedicated. We love the game. We love what we're working on. It's super amazing. Everybody's passionate, and it shows in the work that we do and how we present it and stuff. But it wouldn't be possible without having our players, right? So our players are there. They're our backbone. We love them, and it's very important for us to do stuff that people like. Sometimes we're gonna do stuff. Maybe you're not gonna like it personally. We're making changes, and they can be contentious.
It's difficult as well because we try them, but as soon as it's out and the player gets their hand on it, they accumulate hours way much more than we can.
This is very true.
In our so
it makes it really, really,
so
really
feedbacks are really important.
Feedback's really
That's why.
Okay, so Dorm rework, right?
Oh, my heart.
Nolan.
Oh, it's happening. It's finally happening.
I think it's Nolan's main here.
It's the real reason why I came back to the couch. All right.
So yes, the Yorm rework is coming live next week. March 16th, I think. Yeah.
Probably.
Probably, right? By this point, we've said the date so often. Yeah. So again, the testing grounds that we did last season was very well received.
Mm-hmm.
People seemed to like a lot the direction we were taking with the hero. So most of what was there is intact. We've done some tweaks. We're going to go through them to make sure that things were not like as balanced as they should have been. Or could have been, but even then, it's a testing grounds. It's normal, and we're putting things in the testing grounds, like Vanessa's saying, so that we can kind of evaluate some things. And sometimes we do stuff on purpose. Sometimes things are overpowered on purpose, so we can go, is this actually overpowered or not? Because no matter what, I'm not an oracle. Nobody's an oracle here. Like we can't see the future. And there's things that we
don't have this.
We don't have the Celestials.
We don't have the Celestials, right? And there's things that we put in testing grounds before that I personally and some people on the team as well were like, for sure, this is going to be like too strong. For sure, people are going to hate this. For sure, But we have to try things out, and then it comes out.
People love it. Yeah.
Peep about it. So it showed that sometimes we're wrong, and we're happy to accept when we're wrong about things, and when we can correct them, when we need to correct them, or if we don't. So that's kind of how it works. So let's go through Yorm.
Yes, please.
See what is changing from current live Yorm to new Yorm. Normally, when we do these things, we go, what changed from the testing grounds to live? Now, I wanted to make sure that, not everybody was there for the testing ground, not everybody saw that sort of stuff. So we're going to go through what is going live right now.
Okay.
So we are, first and foremost, removing the stamina-based gameplay, right? That was one of the big cornerstones of Yorm back in the day. That was what we designed the hero around. But after the game evolving a little bit more, after going into a direction where we like players to attack, we like players to be able to perform and do things in the game, and so having a hero that really, really drains stamina nonstop did not feel good.
Right.
And on top of that, balancing that is extremely difficult. Because you have to go, well, how much damage does every bash drain, for example? and then it just becomes a cat and mouse game of this is too high, this is too low, and there's no real good sweet spot.
Yeah.
So with this, we decided to remove it completely and shift Yorm's game plan to something else entirely that you might have seen in the testing ground. So for this, moves no longer unbalance opponents out of stamina, that are out of stamina, and they no longer deal stamina damage or pause stamina regeneration. So the idea here is that really we're getting rid of the stamina-based gameplay, and we're moving more into what we call the displacement bully.
There you
So, we're doing displacement-based gameplay. So, first part is a new move called Venomous Sting. So it's a move that you perform by pressing heavy when you land a guard break. You can choose which stance you're going to do into. It's going to push opponents back, and it can wall splat. So you guard break somebody, you do like a top, left, or right, hits them really hard, pushes them into walls, does all sorts of cool things. You can get another guaranteed hit afterwards when it lands, so that's cool. But we lowered the damage of that attack to 12 damage. In the testing grounds, that was at 24, mostly because we felt that part of it was, well, it's a heavy. After a guard break, it should deal at least 24 or somewhere around that. But we've, like, after a lot of play testing, we've seen players in the testing grounds, we've lowered the damage a little bit, and we've tried to giving other options to deal a little bit more damage in there, so that you still get that cool feeling, you still get those big wall splats, it still feels cool, but it's not as strong as it used to.
Yeah, because that shit was strong as hell.
Next we
I'm
have
talking about I'll hit somebody against the
heavy
wall and
finishers.
deal some more damage.
I'm gonna
they
kill
health
myself
bar.
saying these words all the time, so I'm just gonna so heavy finishers, right? So top heavy finisher now pushes opponents backwards. It didn't used to. So the side ones used to push people backwards and unbalance when you hit people out of stamina. So the side ones still push people backwards, but the top now also does it. So you can now choose really. If your opponent's back is to a wall, you can do a top. They're going to hit the wall. It's going to feel cool. So that works. The heavy finishers now also push opponents further away than they used to on live right now to make sure that you do end up getting those wall splats more often. The heavy finisher now also deals 24 damage down from 30, and the sides deal 22 down from 29. Again, it's to make sure that we don't get damage that's obscenely too high. These land, like, in the case of like other heroes that have that sort of game plan, their damage was really high. We've kind of done things to like limit it a little bit. But in this case, these attacks do not land as often. They're never really guaranteed. So it's different. So we can keep the damage a little bit higher and get the follow-ups stay a little bit higher as well because they're more situational.
Nice.
That's really cool. And animation-wise, like
that was such a big one. Like
it looks good.
It was almost a redoing of a character. Like there's gonna be more stuff coming, but yeah, we had from TG and even like from integration right now, like coming live, we still rework animation. We went back to reshoot some stuff that was changed from the TG. So
crazy, from the garbage. I remember when we were doing the first testing grounds, we had a specific animation for the top one.
Yeah, and we changed.
We weren't happy with the way it looked, right? And so Vanessa's team wasn't happy with the way it looked. So
it was
yeah.
No, but it has to serve a gameplay purpose, but it still have to look cool and make sense. And I think it wasn't like really making it, and I think even player noticed as well. It wasn't like that great, but we kind of knew in advance, so we went back to mocap and redid it. And I mean, this one, the new one is the new one is really cool. Yeah,
that's super cool. All right, so next up, we have part 3 of the thing I won't read anymore. So heavy openers, right?
Yeah.
So we've done some damage changes to the heavy openers as well. So top now deals 22, side now deal 20, down from 27 and 24. And we've also sped up the top now because it doesn't need to be 900 if it doesn't deal 27. So again, this is to lower the potential damage that you get off of wall splats. Usually that heavy is the best option.
Right.
So with the slightly lower damage, you still deal like more damage than usual off of a guard break, for example. But you're gonna deal 34. You're not gonna deal like around 50 damage, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time,
it has to be fun for the player that get knocked.
Exactly.
Like, right?
It has to be fun for everybody.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that things work here. So that's kind of interesting there. All right. So now let's move on to flow improvements. So we've added another new move to our friend Yorm, which is called Ouroboros Might. So you press light plus heavy attack during chains. Basically, it's his own attack input if you know how to play the game. The attack is 800 milliseconds, so it's kind of slow, kind of the speed of most heavies. Deals 24 damage and costs 12 stamina. It can be feinted. It can be performed after any attack except itself. Venomous Sting, which is the heavy after guard break, or Hammer Slam, because you go back to neutral there, so it kind of chain. It also initiates chain, so you can kind of use it as a chain reset. You can use it after like light finishers, heavy finishers, to do that move, then go back into those finishers, so it feels really, really cool. And it also gains uninterruptible stance at 100 ms. So the idea here is that we really, really wanted to have a way for Yorm to have much, much, much better flow and be able to compete better and be able to have like those cool tools. And because a lot of the game's meta now is really group fight oriented, we wanted to make sure that we have a move that you can actually use in group fights. Those heavy finishers have massive, massive trajectory. They can hit a lot of people. So you can go nuts and do like zone to heavy finisher to zone to heavy finisher to zone to heavy finisher.
I will do that. Yeah.
Right? You get armor too, so it's way hard to get people to peel off of you. So it's super, super cool. And it's a really different move as well. Vanessa, if you want to talk through it.
Just the flow, just the fact that it goes through in the back. It's really fun. I remember when because for zone, it always depends like, we are on the animation team a little bit more free in terms of like on which side we're gonna do the zone. Of course, we check on previous like the zone itself, but also like all the other move, which one makes sense. So I remember doing that one from the other stance, and it wasn't like as flowy. So we stuck with that one, and it looks cool.
It does.
This one is fun.
Nice.
All right. So other flow improvements. So Jotun Gift, which is if I remember correctly, it's the light attack after guard break. So that one deals 10 health damage instead of dealing a bunch of stamina damage, right?
Gotcha.
So the idea now is that if you want to get 24-ish damage off of a guard break, you can do guard break light. The second light afterwards is guaranteed. So you get about the same amount of damage as you used to get off of a guard break beforehand. But it really, really helps with being able to like, okay, so if I want to deal more damage, I do those lights. If I want to wall spot potentially because there's a wall nearby or whatever, I'm going to do my heavies, wall spot people, and go into it. So we made that change to kind of really fit well with the hero's game plan and have something good there.
You also, I mean, JC, you're giving me options now. And that's exactly, I love options.
The whole point.
Options
that's the whole point, right? So then we have Jotun Farewell, which is the bash that we can do in chains.
Nice.
So we have a brand new animation for this that we're going to talk about again. That's kind of like
on the kneecap.
Yeah, like hit the kneecap really hard.
So good.
It always unbalances opponents on hit.
Well, yeah, I mean.
So yeah, because I mean,
ouch.
Right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't really want to get hit by a giant hammer in my kneecap.
No, I mean, like, it just gets right back up.
I will stay down. I will say I'm out.
Now, fight's over. I'm done. I'm sorry.
That's it, right? It's 800 MS, so it used to be 500, so now it's 800. And you can now feint it as well. So it becomes like a really interesting, good mix-up there by itself. And it really like is super interesting.
I love the camera on that one.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Right.
We have to put sometime cameras over gameplay to really being able to see the animation and to focus on the right thing. Again, left stance is always the tricky one because the camera is placed on the other side and you have to see what's going on. I know from the opponent you most often see it well, but as a player, you wanna be able to like be a little bit satisfied. Like, I want to see the cool move too, you know. So a little bit of like camera there, so work to enjoy.
And poor mocap guys that got hit in the
No, come on, we don't.
How many times did you hit them in the knees? No.
Guys,
we don't hurt them.
We would never hurt them.
No, of course.
Kick in the shin for the proper mocap reaction. Right.
Oh my God! No.
We don't do that. We don't.
Yeah, we don't do that. Like, it's a big joke there. But yeah, okay. So then finally, Hammer Slam here. So it no longer has uninterruptible stance, meaning armor. We want the move to be able to be peeled, right? Even though it's a big payoff move for Yorm, because it happens off of Jotun Farewell all the time now, we want to make sure that if you're trying to use it in a group fight, if you have an opponent that can call it out, they can interrupt you. Of course.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Your zone inside and try to make yourself armored.
I hate to be
But the idea here is that we want to make sure that if you initiate it, it needs to be peelable because it's a big move that deals a bunch of damage. Speaking of damage, it deals 30 instead of 38. We would need to remove it a little bit because still a bash that ends up dealing 38 damage was a bit too high.
Yeah.
But 30, it's more in line with like almost like our damage cap.
Nah, bro, I
works
let
well
my
there.
hype
Nice.
armor.
That kind of works there quite well. And we also sped up its recovery a tiny bit by 100 ms, so that you are frame neutral after landing it. So that works really, really well. Again, and then you end up in a good position. You're not like back to negative against opponents.
Nice.
Then we have quality of life improvements. So Jotun Surge, right? We reworked the animation. Basically, we took the animation that we had from the chain bash before. We put it on front dodge guard break instead of being hold back and guard break.
Oh, okay.
I will hold down and guard break. So the neutral one, like holding down and guard break, it kind of works in some situations, but it almost just acted as a reaction check, right? So if you're above a threshold, it's completely useless against you. And if you're below that threshold, it's extremely strong. And so we're trying to move away from those in certain situations. Afira has it, for example, but it's way slower. You have time to react to seeing the orange and be able to do stuff.
Yeah.
In this case, because it's skirting those reactions, we're not super comfortable with those and we're moving away from them. So we put it off a front dodge. It's 500 ms now instead of being 6. And it no longer chains on miss. So we wanted to make sure that it doesn't chain on miss here so that it's always punishable properly. And because Yorm has a bunch of other options as well, Yorm's lights are still enhanced, so you can still try to open up people a little bit more. And we're keeping an eye on a lot of these things to make sure that, okay, well, is this proper or not? Do we need to make it chain on miss? If we need to, we're doing a lot of balance changes. Like
all the time, yeah.
So, like, if things end up happening, I want people to make sure that we're always keeping an eye on these things. We've been doing a lot of changes these days. And so this is kind of one of those things.
Yeah, those changes are not necessarily set in stone. Like in the future, because I mean, this game has been evolving. We're a live game, so yeah, exactly. So
we've also reworked the animation for the light opener. So I know some players were like, oh yeah, I like the previous ones because they felt really unique.
Yeah.
But they had a bit of an issue, which is especially at top level, we have some players that are able to react to animations, not only indicators but animations. And I'm sure a lot of reviewers are going, yeah, I can do that. Well, if you could do it, the problem was that because Yorm's lights were so unique, you could parry them on reaction by going, oh, this is the movement the attack is doing. Clearly, it's a light auto parry, right?
Yeah.
You have to have good reflexes there, but that's kind of how it worked.
It's always a challenge when we design them, right? Because we know like opener is something everybody has, but we don't want that to happen, but we want them to make them unique. So it's always like a little bit tricky. And I feel like with this one, we were like happy the first time around. But
and it's important
I'm happy with
that one. Yeah. We reshot these. I remember people saying, "Yeah, these are reused. These are
oh my god, yes,
they're reshot.
Yes, they're reshot. Because I know you guys are like trying to see like, oh, this one is reused from this one, but it's new mocap, and sometime we have to retweak some animation to make it work. So. It has to work for gameplay. Yeah. That's the main goal for this animation. Those animations exist for a purpose, gameplay, and after that they have to be cool, of course, fit the characters, all of that. So it's kind of like a balance in the animation itself to fit the game design, but we cannot like do just an animation because it's cool and just like, oh geez, I don't care about you. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, it has to make sense.
Yeah, and that's part of why like we love working with our animation team.
Yeah.
Like even though what we see,
even though what?
I mean, even though what players see is what your animations end up being, we're always super flexible and able to talk to each other and go, look, like we need to have this type of gameplay.
Exactly.
So how can we work together to get those animations to work?
And the openers are always the openers. It's the starting point, and they have a bunch of transition, like way to transition to another move. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work. Yeah.
So on top of that, quickly, we've also improved the trajectory so it can hit people externally a little bit, and we've also increased their forward movement so you're able to like move forward a little bit more. And then I think this is the last slide for your. There's so many.
It's been
So
quite a bit.
They're no longer undodgeable.
I don't mind.
So they used to be undodgeable
for this, guys.
because the bash and chains was 500 ms, and so we needed to have that mix up.
Right
now. Because that bash and chains now actually is feintable and it comes with its own built-in mix-up, they no longer need to be undodgeable. And so we did that on testing grounds. Nobody seemed to care that much. And at the end of the day, it's still they're still useful. They're still enhanced. You can still use them to kind of like mully people and like go back into your zone and stuff. So they're still useful, but they didn't need to be undodgeable. And so when there's properties that are no longer needed because we update the character's kit, we'd rather remove them and make the character more readable, right? Because at some point, we don't want things to end up looking like a Christmas tree and having like everything light up all the time, you know. So it's kind of like the idea here. So we want to make sure that things are more readable for players.
I want a Christmas tree hero now.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Then we have Serpent Smite. So that's the dodge for it heavy. So it's now 800 MS. It used to be 1,000. It used to be super slow. So at 800, it's a little bit more manageable. We've also lowered the damage a little bit to compensate for the faster speed. And it also gains uninterruptible stance at 400 instead of 600. So you get your armor a little bit earlier. You can use that to initiate your chains. You can use that to mix up with your front dodge bash. So it's way more useful than before. And it's even a thing where like, oh, well, if my opponent like tries to light me on reaction of me dodging, well, maybe they're gonna get hit by that by the attack because of it, because it's armored. So it's kind of like a lot of those like little mix-ups that we're putting in there to really help the character get into their chains a little bit.
Nice.
And then finally, we've improved the chaining timings for a bunch of attacks. One of the feedbacks that we got, especially from higher level players, was that Yorm, even though like he had that big hammer, the timing at which you launch your chained attacks from a lot of these things was a little bit too late. And so because of that, it felt sluggish. It took longer for your armor to kick in. It took longer for your unblockable to come out, for a lot of these things to come out. So we've adjusted these so that you do end up feeling a little bit more fluid, it's a little bit more interesting, and you're like things work just generally better with those increasing length. I mean, it's not a massive change, but it's enough to really feel the difference there.
It's like Yorm went to the spa, now it's all relaxed. You can just go really fast.
You go like this. Right?
Amazing.
So I think that's it for Yorm.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
A lot for
yeah,
Yorm,
yeah.
right?
I mean, it's almost like a new hero at this
Exactly.
point. Like with all that stuff, it's insane. Yeah.
I really want to thank just a minute. I want to thank like Jimmy and Noel for this one. 'Cause I think it's one of our bigger TG that we did.
Yeah, I think definitely like we put a lot of work into it, both on the design and the animation side. Right, you guys worked super hard. We worked super hard, went to mocap, did all these things.
Yes.
And it's amazing. So the people that worked on it, great job. And I think we're ending up with a hero that's a lot more interesting than he used to be.
That's the goal.
Not that your old Yorm wasn't fun. Like you still had that big feeling of, I got this big giant hammer, I'm going to do stuff. But at the end of the day, having a character that is a bit healthier gameplay-wise, gonna get up probably in a tier list a little bit. Gonna make it more playable. I saw a tier list recently
Because I
where
feel powerful
all the
regardless
recent
for
tier
Yorm,
lists
to
put
be
them like
honest.
at the
Like,
bottom,
even
right?
without the
Very
real-
You haven't tested
No
the
more.
new one. That's
yeah,
why.
because
That's
this is
why.
a new one. So what we have, but
March 16, it's gonna be up.
Okay, and then finally we have some Aphira bug fixes. I want to make it clear these were completely unintended.
Yeah,
we knew about them. We wanted to life patch them, but at the end of the day, the infinite was a lot more important to life patch.
Yeah.
And if we have to make a choice between fixing the infinite and putting a bunch of other things in that need a bit more testing, need to make sure that things are going to be okay, then we'd rather delay it a little bit. We know it felt bad for some players, and I'd rather have them now than not have them at all.
Gotcha.
And so this is how it works. So these were definitely, I know people were like, oh yeah, that's intended. No, none of these were intended.
Come on.
Right? So first of all, Gravity's Pull, which is our first feat, no longer guarantees Speeding Comet, which is the third feat. Now, we didn't want to do feat 1, that's 500 MS from neutral, into feat 3, that leads into a heavy that wall splats into more damage. That was just like way too strong. That was not intended. So we fixed that, so they're no longer guaranteeing each other. We've also increased the chaining timing after Oracle's Rush, which is a sprint attack, or running attack as some people call it, to no longer guarantee Kasaki Kick, which is a chain kick, on hit or block. So that was a bug that slipped in at some point, because that wasn't always the case. Something happened at some point in our data, and the timing was a little bit too short, and so you couldn't dodge that kick at all after an Oracle's Rush.
That kick was
so we fixed that, so now you can always dodge it.
It was pissing me off.
Great.
There you go.
And finally, we've also increased the chaining timing after most attacks to Kasaki Kick to let opponents input a guard swap and still dodge the attack. So this is a bug we've had before on years ago on Blackbriar. That kind of slipped in as well, and we caught it a little bit too late, and so we had some issues. But basically now what should happen is, let's say I hit you with a light, you can go, I'm going to go top because I'm afraid that the undodgeable attack is going to come, and then go, oh wait, I changed my mind, you buffer a dodge, you'll be able to dodge the kick. We increase it just slightly enough so that kind of works there, and it's no longer kind of like guaranteed in those situations to make that feel better, right? So these changes should hopefully really, really help facing Ephira and have the experience be much better in the end.
That kick was my
I can see
biggest
that.
fucking problem.
I can
to be
definitely see
honest.
that. And that also
Like, I
means that
always
for
got
that
caught by
very
that
fun
kick,
bug
bro.
and
It was just
elimination that
making
we
me
saw
mad.
around Reddit.
Yeah.
1 to 3 and 1 to 3. Now, you know,
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
your last week of that.
Exactly.
It's fun, but it'll be
gonna be a
gone.
big
It'll be gone. Okay.
And so I mean that's it for the patch notes for this season. I know some players were probably expecting to have like more hero specific balancing things, but because we had to take a lot of time making sure the dodge stuff was good, the Yorm rework was good. We took a tiny little break from that from this season, but for the next TU we're gonna have more. It's gonna come back. So don't worry,
we're not done.
We're
a
not
lot
done.
of work, yeah.
And we have so much stuff this year, and I'm not gonna spoil anything because I'm gonna get probably shot by a couple people.
Get a stern talking to.
Yeah.
That'll
So
be-
if I did that, I would have to start having my reflex.
Oh no!
So I don't think it would work. Well. Yeah. That's not
Gotcha,
gonna work.
gotcha.
Well,
No,
Makes
no,
sense. Makes
so.
sense.
But yeah, we have a lot of stuff coming down the pipe this year.
Yes.
More reworks, more testing stuff, more balancing. So
Wow.
really look forward to it. It's gonna be super awesome.
Cool. Well, JC, thank you so much. I'm super excited for that. So again, March 16th next week. Yorm, it's just again, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. And then all the dodge attack changes, huge system changes. So again, amazing stuff. And again, if you weren't screen capping the whole way, there'll be patch notes up if you need to review any of those later on. So keep an eye out for those too. But next, speaking of testing grounds, we have some more testing grounds to talk about. Right. So don't go anywhere. JC, Vanessa are going to stay here. We're going to bring Alex up though, and we're going to dive into Lawbringer next. So there we go. So stick around, everybody. Don't go anywhere.
All right, thanks.
Yes. We're gonna dive into some justice. I like that, guys. Lawbringer is my utter man. I love Lawbringer. Love to play some Lawbringer. But my opinion on Jormungandr, I'm loving everything that they put on Jormungandr, and also I love everything they did about Jormungandr. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, like I said, he's my main. So honestly, of course I'm gonna love everything that they put on him. So honestly, he needed all of this, dude. Because it been so many years that Jormungandr haven't got a rework or anything of some sort, and literally he's just been he's been a little bit unplayable to people because the stamina drain. But honestly, some people dealt with it, such as me. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to deal with it and stuff like that, and actually use it the proper way to still get kills and everything, which wasn't a problem for us. But since they're actually changing it now, so you won't have to use stamina all the time or stamina drain all the time. You could just do damage, straight up damage, and move your opponent around the field. So honestly, that's a lot better and more like Jormungandr, if you know what I'm saying. So I like what they did and everything. I can't wait. 50 said it's next week, so we'll be on that next week, guys. Can't wait.
Good. I love the shirt, by the way. That was to make room for Alex. Alex, thank you so much for joining us. It's good. I love the shirt, by the way. I don't know,
thank you.
It's very festive. It's very spring. Oriented. Yeah, that's great. There's still snow on the ground, but
I'm tired of
I know. I'm so tired of the snow.
Preparing for spring.
Preparing for spring. Absolutely love it. But yeah, so I love testing grounds as much as the next bloke out there. Patch notes, balance, lore, all these things. I just love our game, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we've talked about it before. You see the results of dodge attacks and Yorm and the results of what comes from good testing grounds and feedback. So I think it's time to talk about what's next, what's coming next, what to expect. So
so we're gonna have this testing grounds. We're gonna do Lawbringer. So it's a big Lawbringer rework. And a small change to Nusha's traps. I'll go into a little bit more detail afterwards. But basically, the idea is we want to make sure we do Nusha right. Right? And so it's a very complex character to rework. There's not a lot of moving parts. And so we're trying to figure out one thing about traps. We're going to get into it. But essentially, it's we're trying to figure out, can we make traps work? And then that will help guide us in the future to have a much better rework down the line, right? We don't want to do like 3 testing rounds in a row and then whatever. So we're having one small change, but it's for the best. And I'd rather do it iteratively like this, so that we can go, okay, this works, and then we can confirm that our change works and our hunch works. We can go into it.
Nice.
But first, we're gonna start with Lawbringer, right? So Alex, you're gonna want to guide us through Lawbringer a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So first thing that we did is to look at the character's flow, because I know all you Lawbringer main out there probably don't like the flow. If you guys don't know, Lawbringer cannot chain lights together.
Yeah.
That's all gone.
That's all
now.
gone, right?
Oh, light.
Oh yeah.
Same thing. Top.
Freedom.
Freedom is
Right?
there.
Yeah.
What's cool here, and like Vanessa can tell us about it, like we actually ended up doing new lights for that light chain, right?
Yes.
Yes, and
Let's fucking go.
it's pretty complicated working on older hero.
Yep.
Okay.
Whenever we change one of the
Oh my
initial
God.
heroes,
I'm always like, I want to work on one because even the data is pretty old as well.
Yeah.
So they were really designed in a way that it's hard to moving part is a bit harder.
We've gotten a lot better at it over the
Yeah,
years.
we're getting better at it for sure.
exactly.
So we got like unlocked chains, basically.
Exactly.
What else do we have?
You can press anything you want. You're gonna be doing your chain, and you're gonna be able to get to those finishers a bit better than before. Another thing that we did for the flow was to add combo lights after heavy. So if you press a light after a heavy, bop bop, you get a fast
Pop
light
up, that's the sound.
guaranteed,
Yeah.
and you can access your finisher much more easily.
Talk
Yeah.
to Carl.
Basically, what it is like I think every one of those lights are only on the opener heavies, right? And on top heavy finisher. If I remember correctly?
Exactly.
Right.
It was just
see.
on top heavy finishers before, which didn't really make sense. So we were like, let's reshuffle it, putting it on the opener. Oh, that works super well for the flow. But then we missed it on the top heavy finisher. So we did. Why don't we keep it? Let's just keep it as a way to reset the flow, and then you can keep chaining
Oh
if
my
you
God,
finish into that.
Yeah,
That top
because
finisher.
I find what's like Lawbringer really shines with his finishers, right? Like big, like unblockable attacks, crazy things, big damage and everything. But then it's so hard to get to them in a lot of situations that at least with this you have way more opportunities to get to them, which is kinda
Exactly. And like as for most heroes, unfortunately, it's kind of like most of the time you will want to do your side finishers just because you can clip people in group fights. So you're like, how like that's an extra way to make you want to do the top heavy finisher. Then the other thing that we did, that we're like not done with the flow.
Not done with the flow.
We got to make it even better. So we took a look at the bash in the chain. As you see, it's a new animation. So shout out to Michel for doing all of those animations. I heard that those transitions were quite a piece of work.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Exactly. So now the bash is slower, but you can feint it. So either you go, bam, you get to your light, finisher, bang, shading, shalang, feint. Like you can do basically whatever you want. You're just gonna.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
terrifying.
That's super cool. Like honestly, I find that like the flow that we have there with Lawbringer is so much better, and having that bashing chains look different, right? So we wanted it to look different so that you don't feel it's the exact same one that you do off a front dodge, that's a side dodge.
You gotta
but at the
notice
same,
that it's a different
you really do feel it's a different attack, and because it's feintable, again, it brings in that whole mindset that we have of adding more flow. Not necessarily adding undodgeables. Like I know people are kind of tired of the orange-blue mix-up type of thing.
Right.
We're trying to do things a little bit differently. We saw with Valkyrie where we did something completely different. With this, we're going back to something that we know is proven and works. But at the same time, like heavy feint to guard break or heavy feint to parry, Lawbringer is a parry machine still.
Right.
So you still want to get parries off a Lawbringer, or you want to get guard breaks, because now if you do get a guard break, guess what? You get a heavy that combos with that combo light that goes back into your finishers. So it's always trying to go forward in the hero's chain and really have that flow.
I'm not gonna lie. Like that bash, I like
Nice.
that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Pretty cool.
So is that it for flow?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. So what else do we have in the pipe for this hero?
We can take a look at long arm next, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at long arm
Alright.
then.
So for long arm, There's something kind of weird on live where if you do a long arm and you attack, if you don't keep chaining, you get guard broken. Now we tweak the timing a little bit more, and now you're basically always safe. So bam, I can counter guard break.
Yeah.
I'm safe throwing that move. So it's still the same move otherwise, same startup. Can't feint it. It's a dedicated move for ganging up on someone, basically. And we felt like we gave quite some good openers to Lawbringer, so maybe it's fine that this move is not one of the openers.
Yeah. One of the things that we've done recently, right, in live, is speed up the front dodge bash, and with the actual timings to the side attack when you dodge, it actually gives like a really nice mix up there off the front dodge without adding like a dodge attack on top of that or whatever. So it works really, really well, and I think that's it. That long arm being more of a dedicated, almost like ganking tool, guarantees you damage if you land in a 1v1, then you're not, because it used to be so bad. If you land in a 1v1, you had to overcommit to get any damage out of it. And so with this, it feels a lot better.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. You want to talk about Impale next?
Yes, Impale next. So for those who don't know, Impale is the sprint attack or the parry into side heavy.
I can't wait for
So what we did for Impale, the move is quite good on live.
Yeah, really
it leads to a lot of damage, which is kind of incredible for a heavy parry. So what did we do? We're like, okay, we're just gonna follow the rules. It's gonna be an opener now. If you reach the wall, bam, so you can go into your chain. But the chain attack now deals 20 damage. So basically what we're saying is, you get your heavy parries on the side, you do your impale if you want to ledge them, or if there's a wall, it's pretty good as well. But we don't want you to be doing it all the time, basically.
Yeah. There's another change too, like if you release a bit earlier. Like let's get off.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you do get it a bit earlier before, release, no wall stumble.
Yeah.
So back on live before, you would wall splat, get your top heavy end, get the stun. It was really frustrating on the receiving end.
Yeah.
So now we changed this a little bit. It's still good because you still wall splat someone, you go into your second heavy, and then you get that super strong finisher mix up
after, right? Yeah, but this here is really a case of like if you're gonna use it, like you really have to wall splat and hit the wall with it, because before you could, let's say, release it a bit earlier, it's still super strong. You can still ledge people with it. You can still do all that stuff with it. You still get one-shot kills if you're really lucky and you manage to ledge somebody or put them into a trap or whatever. But at the same time, these do not happen anymore if you release early. So you don't travel for as far with this. So there's a lot of changes here that make a lot of sense, where we had to change that aspect of Lawbringer a little bit, because he still is a parry specialist, still has a lot of different things on parry, but not going overboard with this at this moment.
Right, exactly. So talking about parry,
yeah,
going through the nice quality of life change.
Yes.
So we took a look at all of the parries. So what we did is, now the light parries are doing a bit more damage than before. Because before it was pretty low, so you would never really want to do them. And then going to your finisher. Also, the top heavy now is also a chain opener. So you can combo. So if you do get a light parry, that's probably that super strong option that you want to be doing.
I'm going to spare you
stun them.
Do a light parry here, but
just take our word for it.
Yeah, that's it. Right? So it's still guaranteed off a light parry. It's just like right now this is super scary, right? Because you get an attack that stuns into a combo into a big unblockable afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still super scary. I think it's the only source of stun that we have left on Lawbringer as well.
Yes, exactly. That was another frustrating part to the character. Every single top heavy would stun, and the light parry would stun as well. So basically, you're just fighting and you don't see anything. Like you just, what is going on? So all of this is gone, but we decided that it was still kind of an iconic part of hitting someone on the head with a hammer. So
that's fair.
We keep it on the top heavy parry. Yeah. So basically now, whenever you parry someone, you're not always going for that impale. You have to have some situational awareness. Is there walls? Is there ledge? Do I want to go for the light? Am I in a group fight? Am I going for that big opener if I get a light parry? So you get a lot more choice than before.
Yeah,
Options, I think, is what we talked about with
That's
your
the
arm,
thing,
Yeah,
right? It's
more
always
options.
we always want to push more towards options for player agency. Towards, well, there's not one absolute best follow up every single time to every single situation. Now, like we want to make sure that you have a bit of choice. If there's no ledge nowhere, before you would still try to do it because you could release early, maybe get lucky, hit something or whatever. But now, like you really want to okay, I'm going to do my light instead because it leads me to other things. If I got a light parry, I'm always going to do a top heavy. So you kind of get into a situation where, well, depending on what's going on around you, depending on what's happening, you get different options and you get to choose which one is best for which situation you're in at the moment.
Nice.
Exactly.
Well, all right. So then we have a bit of quality of life stuff, right?
Yes, exactly. So we decided to take a look at the chaining properties because we want you to be doing your strong chains with the Lawbringer. And since he's a parry specialist, like he's good in group fights, we took a look and say, you know what? Let's just do increasing properties on the chain. So now, if you want, you can go into your chain heavy, and as you see, there's armor on it. So that's pretty good. And then the last one, it's armor plus unblockable. Oh no, wait.
Boom. Right? Yeah. So it's basically super hard to peel, right?
Yes.
That's the idea here. It's like we want to make sure that, because often enough, one of the problems that we have is that the second attack when we have 3 hit chains, and I know a lot of players actually I often read like people wanted to like reworks or whatever, and you go, oh yeah, let's give this hero like a 4 hit chain or a 3 hit chain instead of a 2 hit chain, and it is fun, right? Like nobody denies that it's super cool to have like multiple hits in your chain, but at the same time, the middle hits often feel really, really, really bad,
right?
Because we need to have properties, we need to have like reasons to use them. That's why often we have like shortcuts to finishers or things like that. So by having armor, at least on those on those second heavies, what's interesting here is that you can actually use Lawbringer in group fights, use those big pole arm trajectories, and keep using those heavies, target switching and doing all that sort of stuff with less chance of getting peeled. People can still bash you, of course, but you still get like in those situations where it's a lot easier to use this attack, and they actually have a much more interesting purpose than what they used to have, which is nothing. Then, well, it just felt bad. You landed a heavy, like, oh, well, I got to do a bash, because if I don't do a bash, then where am I going to go? What am I going to do? So you didn't really have that option. So now, again, it's about expanding those options and making sure that people have access to more things with the hero.
Really fucking good so far, guys.
So now you have all of those cool properties.
Like, looking very promising.
People are going to be like, oh no, he's so strong at offense. I'm going to do some dodge attack. Oh no, he's a parry specialist. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So one last thing we did, right? Is enhanced lights.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? I'm going to go over it a little bit. Yeah.
Sure.
So essentially, the hero has, like on live right now, Lawbringer has enhanced lights.
Only on the side.
Only on the sides, right? Yeah. And so with the way that the hero has like ways to open up opponents now, I'm really bad at blocking when I'm talking. But yeah, so the way the hero was like beforehand was, well, he didn't really have openers before we did that change.
Yeah.
And so we had enhanced lights on the sides to make sure that, okay, where could we go? And then the more we played with it, the more we went through it, the more we're like, you know what? We don't think he needs them anymore.
Yep.
So we removed them in the testing grounds, see how it feels, see how it goes, and then again we'll get a lot of feedback. We'll see how that goes. We also, I think, at some point we tried a bunch of different things, and this one felt like the most natural. Right? You have a good opener. You can use long arm to potentially like mess up people. It works really well. You have like
now you have light as well.
You have light as well. So we really try to open it up, but at some point we don't want things to feel overly oppressive and overly dangerous. So we're trying to, sometimes we have to do like little adjustments on the downside like this. Same for the chain heavy, for example, that deals a little bit less damage because it's what's guaranteed when you wall spot somebody. We wanted to give it like, like a follow-up there that made sense. And we didn't want to go like overly nuts on animation. It's a super challenging aspect to do.
Yes, of course.
When you manage to land a wall splat and getting dedicated stuff there, it's very, very complex.
Yes.
So we're trying this out, see how that goes, and then have something really good there.
Yep.
Great.
Then we have one final change, which we took a look at the zone attack.
Ah, yes.
So if the players don't know, Lawbringer has quite a spicy zone attack on live.
Yeah.
It's slow, but it has a very, very good trajectory, and it has
almost
no recovery.
Yeah.
So you're basically throwing that move, and you're super safe. It's even to the point where where like you're hitting some superior blocks and like you're able to parry the follow-ups and stuff like it. So it's quite spicy.
I've seen a lot of compilation videos doing that.
Yes, so what we did is we took a look at it. We're like, okay, so this is like the big keep away move, like stay away from me. I'm doing my huge sweep, but then we just made the recoveries normal, but it felt quite bad because it was just a nerf. So we were like, you know what? It's a group fight move. Let's allow it to go into the chain.
Oh.
So you get access to like those armor move, and you're light if you want to.
Crazy. So just a new way to get into the chain.
Exactly.
Right.
Nice.
So so new chain and new ways to enter your chains, but slight nerf, right? Because if you don't chain,
then
I get a dodge attack free on it, right? So that's the big thing here. Like it's slightly lower safety, but you can chain, and then as we saw here. You do it again, I'm going to do a dodge attack, and I hit the armor there. So you still got to be careful. It's still right?
It's still spicy, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit spicy, right? Okay. So I think that's about it for Lawbringer.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right, so
lots of stuff.
Yeah, lots of stuff. So I can't wait for people to try it out. And then I'm going to go over Nusha a little bit. So I want to make sure that people understand it's a step-by-step process. We want to do Nusha right. We did Yorm. We took our time with Yorm. We're still taking our time with Nusha. And one of the big questions we had with Nusha, internally, and a hunch that we had was, do our traps work? And we've been debating a lot internally about them. And what do we do? Do we remove them, convert them into something else or whatever?
Right.
But at the end of the day, traps are what Nusha's identity is about, right? She's the only one with that mechanic. It's super cool. It looks great.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of situations where, like especially at high level, players try to like emote out of it, throw lights to beat those trap attempts. If you don't have superior block lights, for example, like if sometimes Yusha just throws out a heavy and you just do like, and then you can kind of you can react to the trap animation. So it becomes like a bit tricky. So what we ended up doing is to see if traps can work. We've adjusted them so that they come out 100 ms later. So I'm going to do it. I don't know if people are going to be able to see it because it's very, very subtle. But the traps, like because normally they would come out like you would do like your heavy and soft into guard break. They would come out at the exact same time as the feint. Now they come out 100 ms later than the feint. So they should be, in paper at least from what we've been doing, they should be fully unreactable. And so if this ends up working, and we're hoping that players are going to be able to test it out more, we know we have like some insane reaction monsters that are playing the game that are able to react to this like consistently. So if these players are not able to do it, if this works out, it means that we can actually
use
them and rework Nusha in a way that keeps her trapped.
Exactly.
If they don't work, then we have to start opening up other avenues. And that's why this might seem like a very, very small change for this. I know people are hyped for a Nusha rework, but I'm certain that you'd rather we take our time to do Nusha right and to do the right things and keep what is unique to Nusha rather than just going, well, we're just going to remove it and do something else and, the end. So it's going to take a little bit longer than probably some people think. They go, this season, next season, whatever. But at the same time, with this, it's a step forward.
Exactly.
If this works, nothing tells us we can't push this live before we push a Nusha rework.
Sure.
So that's the thing here.
Yeah, because that's the thing is traps is unique to her. No one else has that. So
it's so different, right?
Like we need to make sure that it works.
Yeah. So let me throw it out now, so you can see like the indicator. Like if you can see it, it almost just flashes very, very, very quickly. So it should be borderline impossible to react to. The attack itself is also 100 ms shorter, so that it still lands on the same timing and stuff, but reacting to it should be a lot more difficult. And so the thing is, you can still dodge, you can still do stuff like you could normally do, right? But then if you dodge, I can feint, I can parry, I can do feint to a guard break, whatever. So that's kind of like the point here, is really testing that aspect out, making sure we nail it. And then once we have the answer to that specific question, how do we shape what's going around Nusha here?
So that's why the feedback for this TG will be very
extremely
important.
Yes. Even though it seems like I said, a super tiny change, whatever.
No, it's the entry point for the future of her.
So, like I said, I'd rather we do this on a case-by-case basis, take our time, do it right, and get it to work instead of just shipping a rework that might be underwhelming and go, oh yeah, people we remove traps, and then well yeah, but we had to or whatever. So now we're testing it out. Does that work? Does that not work? And where do we go from here?
Gotcha. All
I think that's it for testing grounds. When did he run again?
When do they run again, Vanessa?
They run April 6th to April 13th, I think.
Yeah.
That's great. I was going to say
Alright.
March 16th because it's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
April 6th to April. Yeah, that's great.
And so one thing I want to stress also is
Testing grounds for
I know
Lawbringer
some players, like when we do
April
testing
6th, I
grounds,
think
they
you said?
tend to want to wait until the end to give their
Let me go
feedback
ahead and write that down.
because they want to give the best feedback possible.
calendar.
And we really appreciate
Yeah.
it. However, the way our schedule works sometimes is very tight. You know this better than anybody else. I think.
Yeah, I do a lot of calendars.
Right?
Yeah, I know,
So
yeah.
it's better for us if we have feedback the first day, the first weekend, and then that feedback evolves over time, but we get that initial piece of feedback super early.
It's also cool to see the evolution of the feedback as
right?
well. 'cause,
So,
yeah.
but do not hesitate to give us your feedback day one, first weekend, whatever. And then if it changes over time, please go back on Reddit, go do whatever you want, talk about it more. It's totally fine. But we'd rather have it like evolve over time than just at the end. Because a lot of the time we need to act really fast if we want to get stuff in game early enough.
Exactly.
And it can be really difficult. So we want to make sure that, things are progressing in the right mindset. And yeah, if your opinion changes, it's fine. You can put stuff in the survey. You can do whatever you want. It's totally okay. But even if your initial reaction is, oh, I really love this, or I really hate this, I don't care.
Just let us know.
Just let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Not gonna hurt
early,
our feelings, yeah.
And then that's it. If your feelings change, you can change them over time.
Gives us more time to react to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I think yeah,
that's
it for testing.
yeah, that's incredible. So yeah, so thank you both very much, Alex. All the changes to Lawbringer are looking really great. Very cool. Just an entire suit of armor encasing all the justice in For Honor. So again, he's going to bring justice to the injustice of this season. So I love it. See, we're going to keep tying it back to everybody. It's going to all come back to the theme of the season.
And I want to just close out quickly
Yeah.
on giving like massive props to the fight team, the animation team. Like the narrative team, like the sound team, VFX guys. We've been working super hard, right? There's a lot of stuff coming in every single TU, every single season, and it's a massive group effort, and it wouldn't be possible without everybody's input. Like Alex was in charge of the Lawbringer rework, but we're all working together on it.
Right.
Of course.
So Alex
Everyone's
was in charge of
testing
it. Noelle was in charge of the Jormungandr rework, worked super awesome. Somebody that's a bit newer on our team, Costa, was in charge of the dodge stuff as well. Worked really well. So there's a lot of things that are happening that people are working on. We're not the biggest team in the universe, but we're the best team in the universe.
Yes,
that's
the
the important part.
There it
There
is.
you
So like big props to everybody.
Love
Every department we have on For Honor, it's a very special project. It's special to all of our hearts.
Yeah.
It's a unique game. I love fighting games myself. It's something that's really big, and I'm really happy that we're able to work on something so unique. Year 7, who would have thought year 1
Seriously.
that this would reach year
Seriously,
7?
I know.
It's crazy. So I'm super thankful.
this is really
and let's
unexpected.
run it for as long as we can.
But in a good
There
way.
we go. Awesome.
didn't
Thank you.
expect
So we
all
couldn't
this,
have said it
guys.
better myself. So again, everybody, April 6th through the 13th. Don't sleep on this one. Again, don't sleep on the Nusha thing. We need the feedback. Lawbringer, a lot of fun stuff there. So keep an eye out for it. We're looking forward to it. Thank you again, JC. Thank you, Alex. And stick around too. We're gonna wrap things up. We got a bit more content to share with everybody. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, guys, we're down to the home stretch. I think we're down to the home stretch. I think this is the last thing. But yeah, bruh, like this stream has been really good. I'm not even gonna lie. Like a lot of these things that they've been saying, bruh, like it's just crazy. Like I can't wait for it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these characters got good things coming for them. You know what I'm saying? Like things that they needed. Like back then, they needed these. Like they've been needed these. You know what I'm saying? Because they're old characters. You know what I'm saying? We're coming into a new era for Honor. Like it's newer people coming to the game and everything. So it's like it will only make sense to like at least like make the characters feel newer. You know what I'm saying? And more up to date. instead of making them feel so old, you know what I'm saying, and making them like unplayable, you know what I'm saying, and not usable. But some people make use of it and actually, you know, still use them and stuff like that and make use of them. So it's like, you know, it's still cool. But honestly, like, you really want to, like, you know, make it fair for some people and actually make it fun for some people too. So it's like, I could see why and everything they did all this, but they needed
So
it.
what a show, Nolan.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. I'm ready for a nap.
It's been a lot. It's been a big show for sure.
So thank you for all the guests that came to the show. I hope you guys are ready for Year 7 Sword of Injustice for the first season, Heresy. What's the date again?
March 16th.
March 16th.
There it is, yeah.
So I know you remember. So let's do a quick recap right now. So the launch of the starting next week for the new season, Heroes of the Relics on March 16th. Just said it.
There it is.
Pirate Hero Skin Inquisitor Yangxin also releasing pretty soon as well. Part 1. Of the story. I think it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow
for the short story.
So there you go. New battle pass, battle bundle as well. TG. Wait, we had so much stuff.
Yeah.
TG for La Boy. Lucia Traps as well. April 6 to 13. Yorm Dodge Attack. Live. Finally, Nolan is happy with that.
Super happy, yes.
It's gonna start again March 16. You know it by now.
That's right.
You know it by now.
Yeah. Action-packed season launch, but we got some more. So we also wanted to talk about. We mentioned it really at the beginning of the show, but we're gonna share a bit more with you. We have some retrofits coming for the Aphira. So yes, if you were a big fan of the Aphira. Which I know we all are, and I know I am, and you thought she could use a bit more music in her life. Well, guess what? Next week at the launch of the season, the Aphira is going to be equipped with all the Chimera instruments, so the bagpipe, the music box, the violin, the zither, 7K steel each, so you can equip them and go join the band.
She had to learn them, that's why.
She need to take a little bit of time and learn them for
it's
sure.
hard. 4 instruments to learn.
That's a lot. Take some time.
I mean, I don't know,
yeah,
but
for sure.
whatever.
But we're also bringing the parody mode, the Chimera Crew, for 10K steel, and maybe Nusha taught her. I think they look like besties now. This is great. Yeah.
Nice.
So Nusha's like, I got TG coming up and teach me music, and this is my headcanon now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's broken. Okay. But so we also have some mood effects. Yes, glowing eyes.
Nice.
So yes, and we realized Medjay needed some glowing eyes too. He needs to be a bit more scary. Do some scary glowing eyes. So you can pick those up for 5K steel each. They're coming up. Also for the Aphira, a couple executions.
Yes.
So unarmed fighter.
Get your point across.
Get your point across as violently as possible. Again, just
I mean,
a lot there.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, and my favorite, Let's
you like that
Wrestle.
one.
Suplex City.
Woo.
Take him down. There you go. Next week. 10K steel. Wait, is it 10K steel? I got a little... No, 7K. 7K steel each for those.
Long show.
We'll get there all. And then finally, a couple elite outfits for the Aphira 2 that she was missing. We wanted to bring those out for 7K steel each as well. So Severed Destinies, which you're seeing right here. And the next is elite outfit called Paradise Gates, which I don't think we ever actually did a little content of the week video for that. So this is for everybody. Everybody has this.
Yeah,
so
everybody has it.
Go find it.
It's for St. Patrick.
St. Patrick's Day, that's right, which is coming out the day after March 16th. Is it the day after? It's March 17th.
March 17th?
I'm Irish, I should know, but I don't feel bad. It's been a long show.
We also have the Eurofest.
That's right.
That's coming. Right. So 3 of them, I'm excited about them. So we have Lawbringer on April 6th. We have the Pirate one on April 13th. And we have Nobushi as well for April, releasing on April 20th. And yeah.
All right, so again, they're free to play for the week.
Yes, of course.
Double XP for the hero during those, which is great. So
right
that's cool.
Yep.
And if you like Hero Fests, well, starting today as well. Nusha was just highlighted there in the TG, so her Hero Fest starts today. And you can play her for free, and also check out her brand new.
People noticed that execution. The
I know you
trailer.
snuck it in. You snuck it in the last one, so that's really cool.
It's cool, yeah.
Awesome for that.
We also have content of the week, a limited content of the week from March 16 to April 6. The illustrious outfit Inquisition Healing. I hate that word. Inquisition Healing. Yeah, it was good. Okay, 20K for this. It looks really creepy.
It's super creepy, yeah.
Doesn't feel like healing. It looks.
No, I don't want that kind of healing.
We also have the emote Most Wanted for 10K steel.
Yes.
So this one, We like that one because we put a little bit of more like a technical stuff in it. Nolan, do you want to
That's right.
explain a little bit?
We'll talk a little bit about this one. So
Yep.
you sometimes, you eagle-eyed players out there, you've seen that sometimes, hey, emotes maybe have different effects depending. Maybe you've
The
noticed
card?
a yellow card, which was sometimes a red card. Well, this one is going to take that up a notch here. So the person on the wanted poster is actually going to be the player on the opposite team with the highest renown score. So
It's going to change. You have to look it up.
It'll change.
Most wanted. That's exactly
that's
what
right.
it's useful.
Yeah, so if you want to know who's the top scoring player on the opposite team, who you need to hunt down, just equip that and you'll always know.
Yeah,
So there you go.
Like imagine.
Very cool.
Like while
So
you fighting
there's that,
somebody,
and
like, you
also
like,
starting this weekend, well, starting
everybody
tomorrow,
gathers around
we
you,
have
pull out
an
a
event
wanted
order,
page,
the
and it
Medic
shows
Challenge.
you
So
as
this
the
one
most
running
wanted,
throughout the
and now they're
weekend
just
from
gonna
March
come after you the
13th,
whole
10th through
fucking
the
time.
13th. So be the faction with the
actually
most
hilarious.
allies revived.
It's not
So
even
equip those
scary, but
revive
it's just hilarious.
orders. Pick me up. You'll see me on the battlefield. I'll probably be lying down dead most of the time. So please revive me. I promise to do better. Just and then we'll contribute to the order. That's good. Yeah.
We also have the arcade quest, the Seomessa celebration. So this one is for the Marching Fire owner only. So play now for starting, I think right now, March 9th? No,
It's right now, yeah.
Right now.
Yeah,
So there you go. You can go play it up to March 16th. So after that, switch to the new season. So you're never bored. You always have
always
something to do.
There's always something.
There you go. Do we have community spotlight videos
That's
as
right.
well?
We had so much fun with it last time. We're bringing it back this
There you
time.
go.
So we're going to check these out.
Yes. We haven't seen them yet.
We haven't
No, we haven't
watched
seen them.
these yet. So
Max didn't show us.
all right, so Max wanted to surprise us. So
Yes.
we're going to watch this all with you. So it's called Buzzer Beater. All right.
Okay.
So this is a duel I've been on the opposite side of plenty of times. Warmark versus Berserker
I love it
here.
here.
Oh, see the taunting right there. Oh,
Oh
but there
my
it is.
god.
You guys-
Oh my god.
They both died, but he got the kill first. So
Yeah.
It's the win. He deserved
Okay,
that.
okay.
All right.
It is
The
delicious.
Yeet is still. Whoa, good lord.
Whoa.
That was the new Gladiator, right?
Yeah.
Unique execution we did.
Wow, that looks
I
amazing.
gotta get it for
Traditional
Gladiator
Ibushi.
very soon.
that was
I love that art style.
Our artists are amazing in
Damn,
the
that's
community
cool.
out there. Good stuff there.
Yeah.
The most intense Ephira duel in history.
In history.
There's gonna be a lot of running, I imagine. A lot of
Flipping,
bashing.
maybe? Flipping around.
See how this goes. All right. Ready for it?
Yep.
Okay.
Go
All right,
for
they're
it.
sizing each other up. They're getting
Oh.
ready for it.
Oh.
A little back,
Oh.
a little bit. Yep, there it is. That's the flip and the dodge and the
Wow.
punches. My gosh. Oh, they got a hit. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. And
Oh, they both have you. There you go.
emote. That's
Wow.
amazing. Whoa, and that's awesome. Okay, I haven't seen that
Wonderful
one
Warden.
either.
Damn.
That is cool.
He
I
was
really.
so good. I love
Bruh,
seeing like
imagine
all
that
that
could be
art
in-
stuff that people do, like
Bruh,
the
I wish that
concept
was
and all.
actually
Oh.
Oh, a lot of
hero
flashing
skin for
elements.
Warden instead of the other one.
Mighty Honor Force.
That would be so badass.
I think this one has music
Oh.
to it too, right? I don't know if they can hear it, but just look for this one out. There's some really fun music behind this one, I think.
Wow, cool montage. Oh my god.
Good editing. Content creators, thank you so much, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
I love all the content you make, so keep making the content, the pictures, the videos.
It's really fun. I know the animators love it when they see their own execution or the move they do, and people doing montage of that. It's just.
That one's pretty good too. So.
That's a lot of work. I mean, it's long to do a montage that long.
I know.
I don't know how much time it took,
but whatever it was worth it. So
Man, that dodge
there you go.
recovery is insane
Nice,
for Berserker,
incredible.
dude. Holy
It looks great.
shit.
So thank you all again.
Yes.
Big shout out to the content creators. And that's it. That's our show.
That's it.
We made it.
Yes, we made
We
it
got
to
to
the
the
end.
end of the show. That was crazy. So much. What a big show. So a huge thank you to all of our guests. We're here today talking about this new season, Year 7. Year 7.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So yeah, I hope everybody out there is as hype as we are. So big thanks to that. So starting next week on what date? Did you forget?
I think they know.
They know by now. We're not even going to say it. You know by now.
I think they
You
know.
by now.
It's March 16th, by the way.
Is okay, so we did
It's
say
March
that's
16th.
good. Cool. So anything else to?
No, I mean, don't forget to follow us on our social. I think
There.
on Instagram, Twitter, for future dance news and all of that jazz.
All right. So
There you go.
Love it. Awesome. Great. So thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Alright guys, well that'll be the end of this stream right here. Whoever have watched this live with me, I thank you for watching this live with me, and I hope y'all enjoyed the live stream. I definitely enjoyed this. Honestly, like, it's a lot of things that are coming for this season, man. I'm really looking forward of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially Jormungandr and everything, Lawbringer, all those new changes that are coming to the game, bruh. Like, they're making the game, like, so much more promising and fun. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, like, that's what I want for this game. Like, if I'm going to be playing this game and actually, like, put in my time and effort into this game, I want it to at least be good and playable to actually do that. So, honestly, like, that's what they're trying to do. It's a couple of things that I really do want them to do also, which is to add cross progression and some other stuff into the game that will also make the game a lot more fun also, which I really want them to add to the game. But honestly, we're just gonna have to wait, because like for now they got a whole bunch of more content for us for this season and more seasons on to come. But you never know. For previous seasons, it might happen. It might happen this year, guys. Like, hopefully it does. It might happen this year. We still got like we still got like 3 seasons. We're about to hit 1 right now. So it's like then we're gonna have like 3 more seasons after that. So like you never know. It might be in one of those seasons that we might have cross progression. So let's just hope and pray that we do, guys. Let's just hope. But like I said, I'm gonna be uploading this video tonight. Like I said, I did stream this video on March 9th. So this video might be up by March 10th because like I said, my stuff be uploading pretty slow. So y'all should be able to see this on my YouTube channel on March 10th. You know what I'm saying? I should see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I should have a Wulong video out for y'all this weekend also. So look forward to that on my YouTube channel also. And I should be having a lot more content coming for y'all for this weekend and next week. So because I am now on spring break, so honestly I have a lot of time to actually record content. Hopefully I do. I'm just gonna put that in existence. Hopefully I have, like, you know, a lot more time to actually put out content for y'all. Hopefully I do. But if I don't, I'll figure it out. But that's all I want to say, guys. I'm gonna catch y'all later. And yeah, if you like the video, like and subscribe. And yeah, it's your boy Cyber, and I'm out. Peace.